in the live. But we're just gonna let folk roll on up in and through. Pull up to the menu. Place state order. Let me go pull this up on YouTube and make sure that the stream is working just fine. If y'all, I don't know if y'all can see the device. Just look at it from a tablet, your phone, like I'm doing over here. You know.
Oh, we gotta look. You want us to look at the phone too?
No, I'm saying if you want to look at the comments, because I don't know if y'all can see the comments. I can see the comments on my end. I don't know if y'all can see the comments on y'all.
I can't see the comments. I would like to see them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pay it. I won't pay attention.
Henry, I don't think that you can see anything. I just.
Why not?
I just don't know if your site be working like that.
Okay.
How you feel not being high? Like it's.
Well, I don't actually like being high at this moment because I've been on medication, so it doesn't really do the same thing for me.
Okay. Well, I don't want to look. I don't want you to be looking like you need medication either, because you're looking like you in need of some medication. Look lively, brother.
This is me, man. This is what you got.
I know you. This is not you.
I'm just a little tired. I haven't had my nap today, so I apologize.
All right, wonderful. Well, let's get straight on in, you guys. Okay, welcome, you guys. Hello, Conscious TV. I'm just giving you guys time to roll the hell in. I know it's a Sunday. You don't have to go and hear a sermon from your cult leader today. You actually get to be home and hear from the actual voice of God, you know, the Holy Ghost. So welcome to the stream today. You guys already know what we're here to talk about. Of course, the age-old question: do all men cheat? Since we're all black, are these niggas full of shit or not? Yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Hello, Dr. Chris Lord, okay? I want to introduce to you guys my very unique panel. Hello, Classy Queen. What's going on, mods? A show regular, Bubs to God. Say hello, Bubs.
What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all doing pretty good on this Sunday.
Happy Sunday. He's always looking for a big big booty bottom to fall in love with. So any of you guys who are looking for a 4'7" midget who is a hopeless romantic and it's just got 360 virtue, make sure that you email Bubs to God, you know, who's in desperate need of companionship. Below him is my soon-to-be ex-boyfriend, Potts. Hello, how are you doing? Introduce yourself to the people.
Hey, what's up? It's me, your boy Potts Turlington. Yeah, so hopefully this will be fun. I already see Mr. Davion is up to his bullshit. So his BS. So okay, I'm just gonna hold on.
Okay.
All right.
I'm allowed to actually curse. Okay. We do as Conscious TV does. Potts is also a life coach, particularly for the LGBT community. So for all you know struggling to find a man, or a transgendered, or a transsexual, or a bisexual, or a non-binary, or a cross-dresser, or a lesbian, or somebody amongst the spectrum, Potts is that person for you, boo. He will be giving his services because we want to resurrect his career in this live today. He's going to show you why he should be your premier dating coach, right?
This is why. This is why. Right? Go ahead.
Okay, he's going to show you guys what he's made of, and then, whoo, shit, help me, Jesus. We have my good, very talented, cisgender, heterosexual brother Spirit. You guys already know him. He showed his ass quite well last time he was here. He didn't smoke a cigarette. He didn't even drink a soda in order to be completely sober for you guys today. So if he's looking a little Down syndrome-ish in the corner, it's just because he's mad as hell that he can't be high, but he is well and he's rested, okay? Henry, say hello to the people.
Hey guys, how you doing? Looking forward to a good conversation today.
Oh God! Don't you just hear all of the enthusiasm, and excitement? oozing? I don't want none of the men I keep finding help. I understand, KG. Trust me. So, what inspired this topic today was, and I'm not going to give away too many details, but a few days ago, someone who is married came on to me, and it began to send my mind down a rabbit hole. And I began to think about the nature of men and where actually cheat come from. And cheating is a subjective term. It has different meanings to different people. You have emotional cheating, you have sexual cheating, you have all type of ways in which people just violate it in a romantic relationship, right? And I was thinking to myself, have we just in the age of technology and dating apps, have we entered into a space where people are just bound to get their fixes? And does technology and dating apps make it easier for people to actually escape doing the work in relationships because you get to slap a temporary band-aid on it by just hooking up with somebody or having a little casual emotional fling on the side, kind of keeping one in the back pocket? I kind of want to explore all these things. I also thought someone married hitting on me was very interesting because it also spoke to how
Wait a minute.
we can
Somebody's moving something or doing something or something.
We already know who that is. That would be the cisgendered in the
I
building.
just moved. That's all.
We can
I
hear
just sat up.
all your crick and crackling.
I mean everything, like everything.
I'm not doing anything.
You
I'm
doing
just literally sitting here listening. There's no movement. There's no movement. I hear it too, but it's not me.
Oh, okay, so we wrongfully blame the cisgendered. I mean, story of a gay's life, right?
Right.
Sorry, Henry. So there's feedback. I don't know what that feedback is then. Can you guys hear?
I'm gonna mute my phone and see if it's me. Hold on.
Yeah. I might have to take y'all out and bring y'all back into the stream. Oh, to God. Okay, unmuted. It's you.
No, it's not, because when I was muted, it was still making a noise.
But when you muted, we didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either.
Correct.
Now. Okay, so
well, then I'll leave and come back.
No. I'll just remove y'all all and then bring us all back into the stream. Okay? We're gonna see if that works. Okay, so hold your horses, everyone. Whew, the star. Yes, God. And all the puzzle pieces came back to life again. Is everybody here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Above when you just speak.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
like, what are you doing?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
What are you doing, sir?
I'm getting some tea. It's tea.
You're doing what?
It's some tea I'm about to drink.
Okay. Is somebody's like phone bill about to expire? Like, are these the side effects of an upcoming due bill? No.
It ain't.
I thought somebody was trying to open some chips or something.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I'm not going to be able to deal.
Because I hear it when everybody talks. At least on my end.
Okay, it's gone quiet now. Can y'all still hear it? No. Let's see there.
Let's try this. Let's mute our mics while the person is talking. So I'm gonna mute mine.
Okay, so I might have to mute everyone and go person to person to person. Okay, everybody's muted. Great. Oh, well, we know the star is not the problem because we no longer hear the bullshit. Wonderful. Hey, Dr. Chris. Hey, Lady Blue. Okay, so what I found to be interesting, sorry for that rude interruption of StreamYard. What I found to be fascinating about somebody married coming on to me was it was interesting that a man can go through the process of developing and cultivating a relationship to a woman or to an individual, even give her a kiss and all, ask for her hand in marriage, take community responsibility for her, which is why you're invited to the wedding, and this happens in front of the community. Actually build a life with this woman or this man, and yet still cheat. Because oftentimes we looked at the ring as security. We looked at the wedding certificate as security. We looked at the ceremony. We looked at the public display of love and affection as security, okay? These things mean I don't have to be afraid of you. These things mean I can trust you and be vulnerable with you. And yet we would go through all those processes and yet still, for whatever reason, end up violating our relationship. So I want to talk about why men do this specifically. We know that women cheat as well, but there's no women on the panel aside from myself. 3 overrules 1. So we want to talk about why men do this, okay? Now, I'm just going to get you guys this general take on cheating for one. And I'll start with Bubs to God. What is your view of cheating? Have you experienced it? Okay.
Can you hear me? Hopefully y'all can hear me. Yeah, I've been cheated on before. I remember I was in a relationship with this dude, and he was going through some situations with his family, and he ended up staying with me and my family. And everything was cool in the beginning, like everything was smooth and all that. And then eventually he said he was going to hang out with his friend more. And I'm cool because I'm like, I don't want to control you. I want you to live your life. Like you actually have a life to live. I'm just a part of your life. But then things started kind of getting a little bit too weird. And whenever I would ask questions, of course, I would get the roundabout, wouldn't get a direct answer. And then come to find out, yeah, this individual was out there basically throwing ass in the circle, rhombus, all that type of shit. Oh, wow. Davion's going. That's crazy. Why don't y'all unmute y'all mics and see what's going on real quick?
I can hear you. I'm sure either the audience still hears you.
Yeah.
Okay. We all sound clear because I don't hear the sound anymore.
Yeah,
I found out that he ended up cheating on me, and of course it hurts. Like nobody wants to be cheated on. I'm pretty sure in the conversation we'll get down into more specifics about the reasons why people cheat, because I have my own reasons and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just my own general take on it. How about you, Potts? How do you feel?
I mean, for me, I can't say that I've knowingly been cheated on, but what I do know is that a lot of people, they do cheat. And I don't know, I think for me, my opinion in that regard would be like that there's a lack of understanding within themselves as to why they're unable to remain faithful. And maybe there's a lack of understanding on what detriment that would cause to a person that's being cheated on, because oftentimes people can put it out, but they can't take it. So I think it kind of stems from those sorry, the wine is kicking in. I think it just stems from those attributes. those attributes in regard to, like, you know what I'm saying, their feelings and whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna catch it. I can catch it back. Sometimes I fog out for a minute. So, yeah. Totally
understandable. So I have been the cheater.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that just in past relationships, where it kind of stems from is we're kind of bred as men or as heterosexual men, that, the more women you have, or the more women that, find you attractive, the more valuable of a person you are. And so it's really easy to kind of fall into that. And another thing is, I've always kind of found it very easy to I'm not going to say easy to women like men that women like. So a lot of times a man is more attractive when he has a girlfriend or when he has a wife. And most times if you have a girlfriend or if you have a wife, you know that, and so you kind of play up to that, and then kind of piggyback off of that idea is I mean, a lot of times as men, we kind of just get tired of we get tired of sleeping with the same person. So we kind of want to, branch out and, do something else with someone else. And even though, for the most part, all pussy kind of feels the same, it's just it's a wet hole. You stick your dick in. But, when it's, okay, Davion said his connection got cut out, so he'll be coming back. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you want to just try different stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe this one's a squirter, or maybe this one has a bigger butt, or maybe this one has thicker thighs, or you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of a thrill. It's a thrill to chase. It's a thrill of, trying something new, especially if you know you're not going to get caught. You know what I mean? So that's kind of been my thing.
So I have a question. Why, like, when you're in a relationship, and I don't know if I developed my my belief. Hold on a minute. Okay, that was Davion. He was messaging me. Okay. Anyway, I don't know if it's just like my belief or like where my beliefs had come from in regard to monogamy. But one thing I could say that, like, and for me, my parents have been married 39 years. They just celebrated their 39th year anniversary.
Awesome.
And I, growing up now, should they be together? Probably not. I don't know. I think we grew up hearing all kinds of shit. We heard all of the arguments, you know what I mean? But one argument we never heard was about infidelity. So I didn't know. I just don't know, like, about that. And there could have been something going on in regard to that, but I don't know. But I think knowing my mom, we would have heard about that had it have been something dropping off in the household, because we heard all the other arguments. So I just often wonder, is it a thing of like, and not to say that my parents' relationship was healthy, because the shit wasn't. Like I said, I think they should be divorced. They should have been. I don't know now, because I'm an adult and I no longer live under their household, but nor do I take the calls of when they're arguing. They usually call me because oftentimes I'm the voice of reason. So they'll call me and then I'll have to help them sort out their issues. And I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm not doing
Wow, that is not healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what your mama did. Let me tell you what your dad, hold on. Let me tell you what your mama did. Let me tell you what your daddy did,
Oh no.
So, it just is what it is. I don't think any family is right per se. That they're all families are screwed up in some capacity or another. You know what I mean? That just happens to be, one of our issues. But I can't say that I had a positive image of relationship. So when anyway, so going back to the question, because I'll get off kilter. What was it that, like, when you said as a cheater, like, was it that you didn't have like a positive image, or was it like encouraged, like, to cheat? Because I could say that, I'm sorry, not encouraged to cheat, but you mentioned that it was, in a sense, encouraged that you had, multiple women and things of that sort. Me as a person, I dated. Yeah, I had girlfriends in high school and whatnot, but I knew I was gay. So my thing was, like, when I would hear my cousins and my uncles and them talk, they would talk so nasty, and I would just be like, yo, that's nasty. Why y'all talking like that? So, oftentimes I got the play from being the sweet guy. However, it was just like, I thought, like, seeing that imagery kind of was like, that's not what I want to be like. So is it like, you know, a nature versus a nurture type of thing? Is it something that we're genetically driven to do, or is it something that we're taught to be and encouraged to conquer and you know, run?
Yeah, that's a good question, honestly, because
or guys.
yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Yeah, I mean, you know, my parents were married. My dad passed away, so you know, there was never any kind of like a divorce or anything. So, but it was never, you know, it was never, nobody sat me down and was like, hey, you should cheat on your girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do remember certain things resonating with me, like when I would look at music videos and when I would see rappers just having all the girls, and I just, you know what I mean? I kind of grew up, I was a nerd. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really the you know, the ladies' man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I it's hard to say, but I feel as though, I want to say, it's hard, man. I don't know. I don't know. That's a very, very good question. But I mean, I probably think that some people are just monogamous and some people just aren't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that I might just be the type of person that might not be able to deal with, you know, just one woman for the rest of my life. I mean, that kind of frightens me, to be honest. That's why marriage frightens a lot of men. You know what I mean? It's because it's being, well,
and why can't we have those conversations? Like, my thing is, I think that, because even like for me that identifies as a cisgender homosexual, that shit is hilarious to say that.
wow.
Anyway.
It's the wine. It's the wine.
That shit had me rolling. But even though I identify as how I identify, I just feel like it's, damn, I done lost my train of thought. What was the last thing?
I was talking.
There's so much I want to say. It's like, so, and I'm like, no, don't hit that one yet. I'm going in my mind like faster than what, because there's so many points I want to hit. I need like a pen and paper to write, like as you're talking. Because
right. I was saying that I feel as though some people are monogamous, and I was also saying that some people aren't. And then I don't feel as though I'll always just desire one woman.
Yeah, yeah. And then
you
the
know,
fear.
And you were like, why can't we have that conversation?
Exactly. Why can't you speak about that? Because a lot of times we all do things. And me personally, I'll talk and give an example, but I won't right now because I wanted to move, but we'll go back whenever the opportunity presents itself. But I know how making a decision and doing the right thing can come back and bite you in the ass sometimes. So like when you got this woman, like, you know what I'm saying? And I have a really, I don't know, I guess a soft spot for women just because I spent a lot of my time around women. You know, I have sisters, I also have brothers, but we were very protective of our sisters. And, you know, I boyfriends, and my older brothers, they would jump my sister's boyfriends and shit like that whenever they would, I mean, things like that whenever they would be upset. So I just often wonder, like, when men feel that, have that fear, why aren't they saying, hey, this is frightening me. Hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, this is a problem. Like, nobody.
Because I ain't, bro, that is, and you know what? It's very beautiful that you even bring that up to even be able to be in a space where you can say something like that to a woman and not get your head cut off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, right. You know, I mean, that's a very scary thing for men to even, you know, talk about. And now it's being spoken about, where you hear all, you know, these Facebook groups popping up talking about polyamory, and you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of people in the straight community that are talking about that. And I think that's really good, because clearly monogamy might not be working out for us. If 50% of marriages in divorce, then, I mean, if you got on a plane and the pilot was like, this plane has 50% chance of crashing, you ain't gonna get on that plane. You know what I'm saying? But you know, see, we have an entire society that's, go ahead.
See, I kind of feel like, see, that to me, I feel like when I get married to someone, or when I'm taking those vows are important. We're making those vows unto God. Like, if we really Oh, I don't think he can hear. But if we're really like, this is what confuses me with people in general, right?
I can't hear you, Davion, either. Look, we can hear each other, but I can't hear Davion or Bubs.
Yeah, we can.
Can you hear us?
Bubs to God.
Okay.
Bubs to God, speak. Speak, Bubs to God, speak. Like you can't hear.
I can hear you.
Okay,
Oh,
hold on. Let me.
All right.
Can you hear now? Can you hear? No. Come out. Come. Go out. Go out. Hello. Go out and come back in.
Bubs.
Okay, I can hear you guys. I'm having connection problems, but I can hear you guys.
All right.
See, when this
we're
5G
enjoying it. This is great.
killing everybody, when this 5G get finished killing everybody, then we'll be able to stream and we won't have these issues. But we just got to go through the process. So, you know, we'll see each other when we see each other. I threw that in there just to throw that in there for Davion to be annoying.
Right. Very annoying.
Yes,
okay.
yes, no.
Are you guys back to?
He can hear us, yeah.
Okay. My connection is going crazy today. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all talk. I got to have Wi-Fi. Just talk and get.
So now I got to remember what the hell I was talking about before. So the
Okay,
fear.
so we were talking. So the point I made was, I was like, 50% of marriages fail. So if that's the case, why are we still in a hurry to jump into marriages? And you were saying something.
Because at first it's being beat into us, relationships, and you know, from the time that we come out, you know what I'm saying? We have the imagery from television to the toys to everything, you know, to how our parents come in and says, if you're a boy, you're gonna play with this, this, and this. If you're a girl, you're gonna play with this, this, and this. You know, well, me, I wanted to play with the dolls. I wanted to play with the G.I. Joes, you know, and I didn't even think that it was an issue until, you know, it was shown. So I'm just saying, like, some of that encouragement, this is what I want to say in regard to that. I'm just going to go on and say it. Sometimes I feel like with how I was handled as a kid and some of the things I saw, sometimes I question my level of gayness, because I'd be like, and I'd be like, because I didn't like it, because now I'm able to look at myself from all angles, you know what I'm saying? Because I've had relationships with women, I'm still attracted to women, but I'm more attracted to guys. So I feel like me, knowing what I am and knowing what I feel, you know, that would be I would be doing a disservice to somebody going into a relationship, not explaining that to them, which sometimes it's not even an issue. They just want to fuck, and that just be what it is.
So you have to kind of tell other men that you're with that you're kind of on a spectrum.
Yeah.
You still are attracted to women a little bit.
I do, but I was just saying how we're nurtured and handled, it shapes our thought processes as we become, you know, tweens and teens, and as we come into our sexual maturation. All of those things, you know, I don't think, you know, parents are that cognizant of it, but all of those things shape how we will be, you know, in relationships. So adding on what we just talked about, the topic of the fear part of it, you know, as a man, we're not supposed to show fear. We're not supposed to do this, but then again, we mess up and do all this stupid stuff, and then we're shaking in our boots. Like, oh my God, no. If we talk about our fears from the jump and say, hey, this is pressure for me. I don't understand where this is going. I like you or I love you, but I feel like this marriage thing is a bit much. And to me, I feel like, and I guess some people aren't as blessed as I am to look the way that I do. I'm just throwing that out there. But for me, when I'm looking at somebody in a relationship with somebody, I feel like, bitch, I'm the prize at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't get jiggy with what I'm giving and what I'm offering, then hey, can we talk for real, or is this you got this like on a monetized thing?
Bruh.
I want to ask
Nah,
Davi because I don't
no,
slip with cuss words. And if we doing a monetized show, I don't want to be cussing because I don't want to mess up his bag.
yeah, that's real.
Let me just say this real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. Davion got some technical issues going on his end. He's trying to rectify, so please bear with us. Thank y'all so much for holding the conversation down, because I know y'all probably like, what the hell is going on? So first of all, I want to say thank you for that. And yeah, speak freely. This Davion be saying a whole bunch of crazy things, but he said, so yeah, go ahead, speak.
Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube, so I always hear people saying,
right,
oh, don't be cussing. Yeah. So, you know, I'm just trying to be considerate.
But that's cool, yeah. That's understandable.
Sweet. But yeah, so, you know, I think if we talk about those fears, and a lot of times I do this, so I'm not just saying that I'm preaching to the choir. I actually do these things, and it doesn't always feel good. It doesn't always, you know, make you appear to be strong and alpha male-ish, because even though, you know, in the straight world, you don't want to be looked at as soft or, you know, whatever. Well, as a gay person and as a top, I can't show certain sides either. And I don't think people really realize that. I don't think the pressures that we all have pressure. Straight men are pressured to, and a lot of times, and I'm just gonna say it, a lot of times women are telling men how to be. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we even pay attention to that. You know, I listen a lot of times to women, and women are, you know, I hold women in a high regard. You know, they're like this, but I have to, as a counterpunch, because they always socking it to the males every day. They sock it to us every day, and at least I do anyway. I go back and I think about what different women are saying in regard to how
you internalize it.
You know what I'm saying? So now, as a counterpunch, I want to say that oftentimes women are judging and telling men how to be, how to handle, how to be, show strength. When a lot of times y'all don't want us telling y'all how to be, so why do we want to be told? And I'm talking from my own experience, you know what I'm saying? You know, so even from the notion of you need to toughen up, you need to, you a pussy, you acting like a pussy right now, you know what I'm saying? And even though that wasn't a friend conversation, friend to friend conversation, the fact that she said that, it kind of gagged me a little bit, because my thing is that, you know, I moved from Detroit, Michigan to Southwest Florida, smaller area. No, I mean, there's crime, you know, in the area that I live, but nothing like, it's not like Detroit. It's a whole different vibe. So I changed. Like it's like everything is happy. The sun is always shining. There's a beach, you know, the way of living here is different. So I don't have to always be on edge. And so for her to say that to me, I'm like, well, why do you want me to be? And that's what I asked. I said, why do you want me to be so hard all the time? Why you want me to talk like that and be so rah-rah? Why can't I be relaxed? Like, I like being relaxed. I have peace when I'm relaxed. And, you know, kind of, instead of going off and getting upset, I just kind of handled it like that, where I used my new way of being. Because before I'd be like, who the fuck, what the fuck, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? But I used my new way of handling things, a smoother way for her to get to understand, hey, like, I don't have the energy. You know, I think stressing and yelling, it makes you have wrinkles, makes you look old, all that shit. I got enough gray hair and shit going on, you know. So I just want people to often think that.
You ain't got no gray hair.
Shit. Don't make me pull this shit down. This shit apart. Don't make me get up on here and show all these gray hairs up here. That's why I'm away from the camera. I'm away from the camera. I ain't trying to get up on it. You know, I'm still trying to I'm trying to look 27. I'm really 37, but I'm trying to look 27.
Oh, wow, okay.
So, but yeah, so I just say that to say, as we having this conversation in regard to straight people, in regard to, you know, that heterosexual sector, sometimes women have to look at that the way that they want to be, because often all of this shit to me is what we see imagery. Okay, we see imagery from television, we see imagery from, you know, something in our friends or whatever, and then we find that to be something attractive or intriguing, not knowing that shit is make-believe, and television is exactly what it is. It's television. This isn't real, but somehow we are skewing even reality television. We're skewing that shit. We're skewing regular television into our normal everyday lives, and that's not giving us the real long-lasting outcomes that we want. Because if you pay attention to TV, you see somebody arguing on a television show, they're gonna argue for a couple of minutes, and then the shit is gonna be over by the end of the scene, and then everything is hunky-dory. They don't talk about the inner workings and the background legwork you gotta do, and you looking at your partner even though you really don't want to fuck with them at that moment, and you smiling through that shit because you're upset or whatever. They don't talk about that in television. So yeah, I think we got to really look at ourselves and relationships as real people and saying we have real emotions and real fears. Going back to the initial thing of talking about fears.
Hello.
Made sense.
Yeah, and I feel as though that's, you know, that. Huh?
Hello.
You know, they're always saying, yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Hello. Okay, I need to know if you guys can fucking hear me.
We can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. There's two other people to be a part of this conversation. So I need us to pause real quick so I can figure out some technical shit. But cannot hear for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know, but I'm right in the same room as my Wi-Fi tower. Maybe that'll help. You know, everybody's on Wi-Fi.
My box is like literally sitting right here. Okay. It's like literally right there. Me and Bubs done missed like 98% of the fucking conversation. Like we don't even know what
we done uncover some layers, bro.
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
So annoying.
We're trying.
It's so annoying.
And you know me, I'll go to the next topic. And I kind of did good, Davion. I pulled it back, and I was able to ring it all back around. Bring it all back around.
And I do want to say something that I think that like men, the heterosexual men.
I'm listening.
Or just men.
Though. I'm listening though. Y'all just do your thing.
Okay. Heterosexual men, or in this case, I guess you guys would be tops, the more masculine counterpart in the relationship. We have to be willing to hurt our partner's feelings. And what I mean by that is we have to be willing to say what is true. And I've always just been of the mindset that hurting a girl's feeling is just the worst thing you can do. And so we will hide things, and we will lie, and we will, be evasive, just so that we won't cause any type of pain. When in a lot of times that actually will double back on us, because if I'm not honest with my partner, then my needs aren't being met. I've never been able to even imagine myself until I had this conversation now with you guys to be able to tell a woman, look, I'm afraid of commitment because I don't know if I can be faithful for you for the rest of my life or for the duration of this relationship. I'm going to find most men will juggle women because of what they see. You have women. Yeah. I kind of lost my train of thought, but
okay.
Yeah.
I want to chime in here real quick. I need to jump in real quick. Can you guys hear me? One.
It's not. Ain't nobody trying to be abstinent. No, ma'am.
Can you hear me? Is the bigger question. Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
I abstain from sex.
Okay.
So,
for one.
But I think it's all a personal thing. That's all.
Okay, hold on. Bubs to God. You can be heard. You're finally fucking here, part of the unholy trinity plus one. You can hear, right? You can hear? Can you hear? Are you there?
Who?
Cat in the Hat? crack is whack.
Lord,
Can
now I
you
can't hear
come here?
Davion. This some bullshit. Wow.
Maybe we could just translate. Can you hear me?
I can
No,
hear
we're
you.
not gonna do no translating. We're
I
gonna
can
get
hear
it
y'all. I
right.
just can't hear Davion.
We're gonna actually get it right and not bootleg no bullshit.
What
Can
happened to
you?
Zoom? Why would
Can you? We
you get
don't
on
know.
Zoom?
We're dealing with
Oh, I guess you're.
StreamYard. Zoom is not happening. StreamYard is happening. But the guy, can you hear?
Okay.
Can you hear? No, no. You can you?
Bubs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Davion is asking, can you hear him?
Can he see me?
No, I can't hear him.
Okay, just okay. Tell him I'm going to kick him out, and he just have to relink himself back in. Just tell I'm going to kick him out of the studio.
Okay, Davion said
He's gonna kick you out, Bubs, and you'll have to get back in.
I'm back in. Okay. Whoo, child, patience be with thee. Okay. Now, can you hear me, Henry?
I can hear you.
Okay. So,
I'm reading these comments.
Potts, can you hear too? You're fine. You can hear, your ears work, everything. Okay. Okay. So I just want to speak to what Henry just said real quick. I don't know how much y'all have covered already, but I'm glad. First of all, thank y'all for holding it down, because I thought the whole stream had been disrupted. And now Henry is gone too, because that's what we do on a good God-given Sunday. Okay, let's bring the cisgender heterosexual man back in.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Christ of Jesus.
Press the button.
I'm 2 seconds away from banning my entire stream right now and just shutting
No, this is good. This is good. I'm really enjoying it.
Now I can hear you.
I'm not. Me and Bubs are not enjoying it. Can you hear everybody, Bubs?
Yes, now I can hear.
Okay. I had to kick a bitch out just to get a bitch back in. Story of my life. Okay, so let's just jumping back in. Henry, you just said that you always felt like hurting a girl's feelings was the worst thing you can do. I want to say I think it's actually healthy for both partners, whether male or female, male and male, female and female, trans and trans, non-binary and non-binary, for everybody to come into a relationship willing to have their feelings hurt, because honest, authentic conversation needs to be able to take place. And sometimes that honesty and that transparency might disrupt your ego. It might upset your ego, your feelings. So I feel like in order to have a very authentic, healthy relationship with strong communication, yes, you should come into a relationship prepared for somebody else's truth, somebody else's feelings, because you are dealing with another human being. Like,
but you know how I feel about that, Davion. I get that, but I don't think that makes sense to me, because if that's the case, then don't get in a relationship.
No, it's not about a relationship though. It's about, okay, so, say for example, I don't even know what to use as an example, but it's not really about, because there's a reason why in psychology circles, communication is one of the foundational principles of a healthy relationship. It needs to be there, even for people who are ready to be in relationships. I think we live in a bubble when it comes to marriages and relationships that says these things should work automatically because I love you and you love me and we mean well. But that's not the reality of how relationships actually work out, because you're living with somebody who's still doing their work in life. You are going to be still doing your soul work in life. Y'all are coming together and y'all are going to be witnessing each other work out y'all soul salvation. Therefore, virtues like patience, compassion, understanding, not being quick-tempered, being slow to anger, these things are going to be necessary as you two engage life together and as you both show up partially on your journey to be whole. There's going to be a lot of things you're going to witness from each other in an attempt to be made whole. I may come into the relationship with a certain level of temperament, and I may have to work on that. As you're with me, I'm going to make mistakes. I sometimes may raise my voice. I sometimes may A, B, C, D, F, and G. You might come into the relationship with trust issues, okay? I may have to be patient with you. I may have to be understanding of your triggers, of your past. It may be annoying to deal with, but I love you. We're going to work together, okay? That's going to be difficult. That's going to be hard, but that's what a relationship
is. Cheating, though. That has nothing to do with...
Yeah, but see, I ain't talking about cheating, though. I was just responding to what Henry said about, you know, hurting your partner's feelings and being able to speak honestly without shattering a person. And
so just hurting their feelings. Oh, ain't nobody worried about that. Everybody feelings get hurt in a relationship.
Well, I guess I said it because I said it because
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to dismiss what you were saying. That totally was dismissive by saying ain't nobody worried about that. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay. I just brought up the whole hurting the feelings part just because if you might not be a monogamous person, you know, it's hard to tell a woman that. It's hard to say, hey, you know, I might not be faithful for you during this relationship, just to let you know. You know what I mean? So,
so why get in the relationship?
That's
because the relationship as a whole is a lot more fulfilling than a mistake I might make.
That ain't no mistake. That ain't no mistake.
I think it's a mistake.
Are we talking about cheating? A mistake? Is cheating a mistake? Is what you're saying?
I think that's what we're saying. Yeah. No, it's not a mistake.
Yes.
I'm gonna go up to God.
Well, I mean,
like you go ahead and chime in.
Let Bubs talk.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out where because I was on something and then we got into this.
Sorry.
I had my thought on the tip of my damn tongue that I was going to
mistake. We were saying that it was a mistake.
Okay, so we're just gonna let
I don't hurt people's feelings.
I don't feel like I don't feel like, if you ask me, I don't feel like cheating is a mistake because before you do it, there's always that moment there where it's like, wow, how would my partner feel? You get what I'm saying? You still have that moment of clarity. But in that moment of clarity, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose this temporal thing where, yeah, this thing look good as fuck right now, but it might cause me some shit down the road? Or am I going to say, you know what, as tempting as this is going to be, what I have at the house is way much better than what it is that you can give me right now for a few moments of pleasure. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe that cheating is a mistake. And then two, if that's the case, if we're gonna say that, then I mean, would it be okay? Would you be okay if the person that you were telling that to was doing the same thing to you, saying, okay, well, at the same time, you know, I might not be faithful. I might see a nigga at the movie that might look good, and if I decide I want to give me a little bit of snack before the damn movie, I'm gonna give me a little snack before the damn movie. Like, is that okay?
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that I would have to deal with on my end. You know what I mean? They may or may not be worth it for me to get into a relationship.
Right. But what's wrong with saying that in the beginning? What's wrong with just letting it be known? That's the thing. Like, if you just tell the truth, you'll be surprised because it might be some motherfuckers they be like, well,
yes,
shit, but since we being honest here, I'm low-key feeling the same way. So now it's a thing where we understand. It's when
I think that would be beautiful, honestly. I think that would be beautiful. I'm gonna look. I might not be all the way faithful with you, and she's like, "Good, I feel the same way." I'm like, "Well, wow, we agree with this." You know what I'm saying? There's something that we have in common, and we can kind of heal. We can heal together. You know what I'm saying? And then,
but that won't be known unless you let it be known in the beginning. That won't take place unless it's told.
Yeah, that's real.
And
now,
then
let me shut up.
That's
sorry.
real.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So piggyback on what Bubs was saying. Also, it's you're planning. Like, we're not gonna sit up here and act like all of the cheating that we do is just we see somebody out. Well, I don't cheat. Let me make that. Let me establish that right now. I don't cheat. I'm probably one of the good guys left. But we're not gonna act like every time a person cheats, it's oh, I saw somebody bad at the club. No. We're gonna talk about how it go down. Niggas be on Facebook, And I understand because I've fallen victim to this. You know what I'm saying? You see something bad, you like, ooh, and you like it. And I've been scrolling while in a relationship, and I'm looking at the ads like, damn, that's a good ad. Male or female, it don't matter. You know, ooh, ooh. And then I'm like, yo, what am I doing? This is wrong. Like, I literally stopped. But if I can have a real moment like that, why can't other men have a real moment like that and say, hey, this is fucked up? Because we have to understand a relationship is a relationship. There's a definition to describe or to define what a relationship is, right? So we have to understand if we're not willing to do A, B, and C, that will give us everything we need to get in a relationship, then we just can't do it. It's too much of this, oh, I'm gonna mix these feelings of relationship and these feelings of we just gonna fuck and have a fluctuationship is what I call it. So, you know, I think we have to get out of that notion, because at the end of the day, a lot of people aren't being, I mean, I'm just looking at from my past experiences, you know, when you're doing a wham bam thank you ma'am type of situation, and then, you know, you get up and you get dressed and they're like, why you don't ever hold me? Why you don't ever stay? And it's like, well, I thought this was a situation, and isn't that what we're doing? But see, on that person's end, their end, they weren't being honest with their feelings. So the thing is just being honest from the jump and understanding that a relationship is what it is. If you're not willing to do what it takes to get in a relationship, don't do it. Just stay out of the relationship and have a friends with benefits or whatever we can classify today in 2020 as everything and labels are changing.
So I want to kind of jump into that a little bit. A lot of people probably going to be in their feelings when I say this, but it's going to be okay. I mean, some motherfuckers be in their feelings when I say anything. There was a comment by Coco, I believe. She said that cheating is a character flaw. I'm just going to ask real quick before I say what I say. I just want a yes or no. What is cheating a character flaw?
A character flaw meaning that, yeah, it's not a mistake, it's a flaw within them. Like, is that what that means? I don't call it. I like to speak in
language. You should say yes or no.
And say
yes, it's a character flaw.
Character flaw. Yeah, it's a flaw in the character. It's a flaw in the character. Yeah.
Is cheating a character flaw, Henry?
Nope.
Okay, Bubs, cheating, character flaw.
I'm gonna say yes. Even though I'm on the fence, I'm just go ahead and say yes.
Okay, so the interesting thing about cheating from my perspective is cheating is wrong, and cheating is a character flaw. My issue with, though, cheating being a character flaw is that more people are raised to be flawed than to have great character. So you have kind of a conflict of interest because, right, we all grew up in households where I'm going to mute everybody's mic because I keep hearing that feedback. So I'll just let you guys in as I. So I'm just going to mute. I'm going to mute. Okay, the king has the floor finally. So we all were raised in households where our parents told us, be honest, always be honest. But we learned that honesty was based upon condition, because depending on what I was being honest about, I might get my ass brutally whipped. I might get my ass severely punished. I might endure unnecessary consequence as a result of something that I'm being transparent about. Particularly LGBT people can relate to this in terms of coming out. Sometimes that's a good experience depending on who your parents are. Sometimes that leads to murder, it leads to trauma, it leads to whatever. So I'm using that as an example to say that we're raised to comply with honesty, but oftentimes we don't live in environments where honesty is really dealt with in love, is dealt with in compassion, is dealt with in understanding. So most people's experience of being honest has been getting berated, beat down, judged, criticized, rejected, etc. What you're being honest about becomes punishable. So then we grow up, right, to be adults. And then we enter into relationships. And we go into those relationships with our conditioning, with our life experience, with the way we've been raised, because those things have shaped the way we're going to relate to ourselves, the way that we're going to relate to other people. So now we're in a committed, honest relationship, and we're expected to be honest. And then what happens is something happens in our spirit that we prejudge, and we say, oh shit, I'm feeling or thinking or desiring something that I know could be an issue. And then fear sets in. And then that fear creates a fork in the road. I can talk to the person I love and risk not being heard, not being understood, be rejected, be shut down, be disregarded, or I can try to deal with this thing in me privately. But then in the privacy of your dealings, you come up with some solutions that end up being problematic. You end up, because of a lack of emotional intelligence, because of a lack of emotional awareness, subconsciously end up, because I do hear what people are saying about cheating being a choice. But also, if you are in pain and you have a damaged and corrupted, if you have corrupted software, your mind and your heart is corrupted software, you could subconsciously end up in an emotional affair without even intending to have ended up in an emotional affair. I think physical cheating is much more of a choice than emotional cheating is. Because I think that it's natural to feel close to someone, to feel connected, and then to confide in them, etc. But also you have your relationship, and your emotional affair is in total violation of the covenant in your relationship. Wonderful, okay? But once again, I don't want to go down too deep of a rabbit hole, but I just want to say that cheating is a character flaw. But what I want us to really be honest about is, have we all in our families, in our upbringing, in our churches, in our society, been raised to actually have great character, to go out into the world with, to be honest, authentic, self-aware people? Honestly, have we actually been raised to be those people? And I don't want everybody saying yes, because I know it got to be 60% of flawed people in the comment section who done lied at times, who done kept secrets at times, who done violated their morals and ethics at times. I don't want to hear that feel good, yes, I'm perfect, and yes, I do it all right. And look, it's wine in that glass. Pay pots, no mind. He's in his false self right now, okay? But I'm going to let y'all have that conversation around, yes, cheating is a choice, but have we been raised to have the integrity and the self-awareness to be able to do the right thing as right as we can in life? Now I'm going to unmute everyone. Somebody can have the floor.
I'm not going to take it. I talk a lot already. So
yes, you have. You and Henry. Buff the guy.
Damn. I can understand that, but here's my thing: when you enter into something like a relationship, I kind of look at a relationship as well as I look at a relationship like a partnership. You get what I'm saying? And with this partnership, there's some contractual things here. Now, if your ass don't take the time out to read the fine print of the shit, that's on you, because I'm entering into this situation with you. Now, at the same time, there are always signs that happen that we see, and a lot of times we overlook those signs because we don't want to be like, oh, I'm overreacting. Oh, maybe I'm thinking too deep about it. We do that, and then we end up in these situations with people who you say might be influenced, or they don't understand, or I guess pinpoint the fact that they're actually having a connection with someone else emotionally. You know what I'm saying? There's accountability in everything that you do. in everything that you do. Yeah, it's a character flaw, but you might want to work that character flaw out before you get into something with someone that's serious, especially if this person's being open and honest with you.
And
that's
it's
what I'm saying. Like,
when you have to be
that I
emotionally
have is
intelligent
that,
to handle somebody else's feelings. Sorry, I just want to throw that in.
No, go ahead. You go ahead. You say what? Go ahead.
I just said, especially when you have to be emotionally intelligent enough to, when you're handling somebody else's feelings, you literally are with this person and you and this person become one. You know what I mean? So you have to really handle them how you would want to be treated. And that's the part of love. That's the part that we all talk about that we want, but oftentimes people aren't willing to give. And
emotional intelligence, that's really important. I mean, and also I would also say, to add to that, and I'll let you guys have it, it's also emotional language that a lot of people don't have access to, that I feel as though a lot of women have access to emotional language, but men don't.
I think we have to just create the space for it. Truthfully, I see, and I'm only saying that because I see how there's been a shift in television, you know what I mean, in regards to showing LGBT life experiences. And, you know, sometimes people say, oh, it's an agenda, we're trying to make everybody gay, it's an agenda. It's not an agenda, it's representation, because everybody wants to be represented on television. And when I was growing up, there were no gay people on television that looked like me. So I had to go with, you know, the Will Smiths. I had to go with the different people that I thought that I would emulate it, which at the end of the day, the sexuality doesn't matter. It's about what you can show. So that's why I've always, that's what I've tried to live by anyway. It's not my sexuality. So it's okay to have Will Smith and different people like this. And however, there's children that are coming up that are young enough that are watching that will be growing up and will end up being gay, and it would be nice for them to see a positive representation on television. So it's not that, it's just representation. And damn, now I done got off kilter with what I was gonna say initially. God dang.
I'll talk about you.
Looking at these comments too. I gotta stop reading these comments at the bottom.
I do the same thing when I'm live, but I was gonna say to that, like, growing up, I had a rambunctious 1, 2, 3 attitude about the way the world was supposed to be set up, and right and wrong, and in and out, and up and down. And then as I grew and matured, I began to feel deeply empathetic and compassionate toward the world at large, because I realized that none of us have really been instilled with the shit we really need. Like, I wasn't raised to be this confident. I was raised to be above the God, a Henry, a Potts. I was raised to be a presentable black man. I wasn't raised to be who I actually fucking am. I wasn't raised to distinguish living for other people from living for myself, and what that really meant, and being encouraged and having the tools and the support behind that. I had to find all this by accident. I had to find a way, find my own way and my own path to be my true long hair, Tekashi 6ix9ine, tattooed ass self, you know? And so with me being somebody who knows directly what it feels like to be different, and then can I have access to those things from my church, from my family values, nobody coughed up what I needed to be me. I feel sorry for the rest of us. I feel sorry, not that any of this, like, it's not right to be abusive in a relationship, or to be a cheater, or to be a liar, or to be a deceiver. But I'm also not going to act like I don't understand how we all got fucked up, because I feel like we all have been given a great disadvantage in life. What I do appreciate about the scriptures, what I do appreciate about religion, is this sentiment around compassion. I understand now why it's so deeply fucking needed for us to be compassionate toward each other, because most of us are walking around as our unconscious selves, meaning well, wanting well, intending well, but we're not well, and we don't have all that we need, and therefore we're bound to hit the potholes. We're bound to fuck up. We're bound to make mistakes. And I think that that's a bigger question of society and what our points of focus. Because he's being people, and the actions and consequences of those behaviors become a lot more severe as adults than when you are children. And I think it's a bigger question beyond the actual cheater and the actual lie, in terms of, well, what did and did not the cheater have access to that made them more susceptible to cheating than fidelity? What did the liar have and didn't have available to them that made them more susceptible to lying than to telling the truth? And I understand why it's hard for us to have compassion, because we get caught up in our own direct hurt and impact. Intent versus it hurt me, let motherfucking did. You did. Your lie did. Your cheating did. It did. And so I understand how we get stuck. See, I believe that every motherfucking human being need to have a black, white, Chinese, white to thine ass in counseling. And I believe that every relationship needs to be in counseling. I don't believe any of us have the full wherewithal to do it on our own. And I don't believe we were designed to do it on our own, which is God created us in bundles. We need the help. And I think we need to go back to some of these indigenous practices where we had tribe members, where we had leaders, where we had people designated for guidance, and where the community could hold people accountable. See, I find it interesting that marriages happen in front of a family and a congregation and an audience, and then we get into our marriage and be private about what's going on. It's none of your business, mom. It's none of your business, brother. None of your business, sister. Well, yeah, when you took the vow and I needed to complete the union, yeah, you know what? And those witnesses aren't there just to celebrate the good. They're there to hold both of y'all asses fully accountable. So tell me your business. Tell me what's going on so I can get your ass together if you disrespecting your wife.
That was one of the things I just hated about marriage. Is this the privacy of it?
Yeah.
That was one of the things I didn't like so much about being married, is that it was just the privacy of it. It was like you couldn't talk to anybody about what was going on in your marriage, and I just really felt isolated. That was one of the things I really didn't like. And then of course, you know, with who we are, I mean, we're kind of like I'm not going to say we're public, but we're pretty well known within our community. And so, you know, you always kind of have to hold up a certain picture of, that, oh, everything's perfect and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And I know that there are a lot of other people that are married that go through the same thing.
Yeah. Potts, you've been busting out to speak.
I tried to. I had my mic muted, but I've lost my train of thought. Like when you were talking, I tried to get my point in, and then I just let it go. It's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Counseling guides us unbiased truth, right?
Okay, so I have a question then.
Yeah.
Is once a cheater, always a cheater? If once a liar, always a liar? Would y'all allow someone to change? Would y'all give someone and afford someone the opportunity to?
No, not while we done had a conversation prior to, and I've told you and we've talked, and then you still do some fuck shit down the line. That makes no sense to me, because you knew you was gonna do fuck shit. See, this is the thing. I think people, they really, especially when you, never mind, I'm not going to say that because that's going to come off as really.
Set it off.
No,
set it off. Set it off.
Because no, I'm not, because it's not going to gain any. It's not.
Okay, so you gonna let me be the only controversial one on.
No, I can be controversial, but I'm not
speaking of whole
make no sense. I was only going to speak from my experience, but I don't want to say certain things because it's going to come across And I'm not going to have the conversations with your viewers as the conversation that I would have with you, because you know where I'm coming from. These people don't, and I'm not going to have these people, you know, do all this extra judgmental shit, because I don't have, you know.
I have a rather understanding progressive body, you know,
I would like to say something in response to one of the comments that Raw B Privilege just left. She said, people are afraid to speak their truth heavily because they can't handle the weight of judgment. Everybody wants to think they're perfect until they realize their flaws. I would like to add to that and say that most of the time we're afraid of abandonment. We're afraid that us speaking our truth, the person is going to leave us. And that is why we lie and keep things to ourselves.
So to me, when I hear a person say that, if you can vocally say those things and you know that why you're lying, why do it? Why even put yourself in that relationship? Did you hear yourself how you were able to do that? And I've heard, not just you, but I've heard, and I asked this question to all my friends that say that exactly how you say it, or not exactly, but you know, similarly. But I'll often ask that question, well, if you're able to communicate to me, you know, why you're withholding, then why even do it? Like, there's still the decision. And I believe that we're not to do anything without intention. There's still the decision before you meet this person. See, that's why I just tell people.
There are lots of invisible factors.
Ultimately, I'll say, oh, a relationship. But right now, we just, you know, a cuddy buddy, you know, whatever, because I don't know if I'm going to like you 3 months from now. Like, this is how I come into the gate with everybody. So when I hear other people, I'm like, dang, like that's so odd for me, you know, because I often go into it of saying, I don't want to mislead anybody, and I don't want anybody's feelings to be hurt, because oftentimes I get blamed anyway for it. So I feel like once I go into it where they know what it is, they still gonna have something to say, but they're gonna know deep down inside that they knew the truth.
But but that's what, and maybe this is where the issue of privilege may come from. Like you just needing to realize that you have the self-awareness and the courage to stand in your truth, something that other people might not necessarily have access to. So while it may be easy for you to be, you know, to present yourself in your authenticity, into your truths, and to give your hard truths right off the top, the reason why I brought up like society and conditioning, because like most people like you who can do that, I can do that, etc. Like we've learned to do that. For whatever strange reason, we found ourselves being able to just be bold and grounded in what we understand about ourselves and not being afraid of other people's egos, which, as Rob B. Privilege said, the weight of judgment, people are afraid of the penalty. And that's because most people who've told the truth have been wrongly prosecuted as a result, or have been overly prosecuted as a result. And so there's a real fear that is there. And I don't want to take anything away from that fear, because yes, it's terrifying to tell people that you love and don't want to disappoint something that you know is probably going to fucking disappoint them. And then to say, well,
everybody's manipulative too.
I mean, why even do the disappointing shit though? That's what I'm saying. Why even do it?
No. Okay, so prime
because
example,
there are lots of invisible factors that might you know compel a person to make this mistake. I mean, you know, it could be that this person. See, I mean, I'm not even going to get into all the reasons, but I mean, like I said, there are lots of factors that might make somebody cheat. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, it doesn't have to do with anything. It doesn't have anything to do with the significant other within the relationship. And you know, a lot of times, it just has to do with what's going on within you as a person.
Because let's be honest, a lot of people don't intend to cheat. That's why they're not honest about being a cheater. Most people go in believing in their ability to be faithful and to hold their covenant together to do right in a fucking marriage. Okay, then then the cheating circumstances, the variables happen. So then let's get more nuanced about cheating. Then you're in and let's not even restrict it to marriage, just relationships, a serious relationship. you're in a relationship. Your partner, for whatever reason, loses sexual desire. So they're not as interested in having sex as frequently maybe as they started off having with you, whatever hormonal changes have occurred, whatever the fuck may happen. Okay, so now you in a predicament here because first of all, you're used to a sexual pattern that's no longer there now because your partner is in some other place sexually. And I'm speaking about this because I have a young woman in my life who I've had to counsel because her partner lost his interest in sex. That became a very strong point of contention. She was very sexually frustrated in the relationship. She had to do a lot. She started resorting to masturbating, just trying to hold herself together. It gets tense. So let's say someone then who never came in wanting to cheat, never wanted to hurt their partner, never wanted to be that guy, but their needs are not being met sexually. And they've expressed this to their husband, their wife. This has been an ongoing conversation that, hey, I got fucking needs. I need the bread basket. I need the hot dog bun. I need the hot dog. Okay? Nothing's really changing. Okay, so because we're gonna get into I want to really paint the picture, okay? Okay, so now the person who's deprived is like, I'm talking, communicating, frustrated, nothing's happening. Right? I have the option to be with other people. But see, now comes this weird decision in your mind because it's like, I'm not on one part of your brain is I want to tell my partner. But I don't want to blow my relationship over fucking someone else. Because I like and enjoy more things about my relationship than just sex. And I know if I probably say I need whatever, that's probably going to happen. Then the other part of the brain is like, go do that shit. It'll be all right. What won't kill them, what they don't know won't hurt them. I'm sitting up in this bitch hurt. Hey, it's okay. This dick is hurt. This vagina is hurt. We got needs. They not being met. Look, fuck your feelings too because my feelings being fucked. On some subconscious way, we find ways to justify the bullshit. Now, this is where integrity happens. So let's use this exact same situation. You're the partner who's sexually depriving your partner. Your partner comes to you and say, if something doesn't change, I'm going to need another sexual outlet. What is the conversation?
For me? Well, for me, if I know that I'm unable to sexually satisfy that person, or if I've noticed there's been a shift, by all means, I'm going to open the door and allow them to go. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, I always look at it like I don't want anybody to be unhappy with me that ain't gonna be happy. I don't believe in doing anything you don't want to do. And that's just my personal belief. I have friends that go to work that hate their jobs and they make, no, I ain't gonna make it seem like they making buku dollars because they not. But still, like, they go to a job every day, but because they are, it's a degree specific career, or they have a degree, but they're working not exactly along the lines of the degree. Hey, everybody's going along doing the shit that doesn't make them happy. That doesn't really cultivate any joy within their soul. So for me, I'm gonna tell them, listen, this is not working. I feel this is what I feel, and this is what it is. Now, we all know that health issues are not included in this conversation. Anything regarding to health or a male impotence, things of that sort, women's situation, women going through menopause, things of that sort, we're not going to include those things because the majority, that's not the majority of the situation. The majority of the situations of cheating are people just not being man enough, woman enough, or whatever enough with their feelings to express that they are not able to maintain a relationship. And that's just how I feel when you look at it, because I hold myself to these same standards. You know what I'm saying? And it may be tough to hear. It may be a large pill to swallow, but at the end of the day, that's what the fuck it is. Like, I can't blame anybody for not going to school to become a nurse and have been a caregiver for as long as I've been. Although I've managed to make money doing it and make it like to show and appear that, you know, I've gone to college or finished with a degree. I didn't go, and what did I have? I could only blame myself. I mean, there are issues that happened along the way that prevented me from going, but in regards to my tenacity, the tenacity wasn't there to finish. And at the end of the day, we are responsible for our outcomes in life. So why can't we just say that we are responsible for the ain't shitness in us? Because there are some ain't shit ways that I have, and I will open like this. If I'm dating somebody, I don't give a fuck what you're gonna say about me, because you got some fucked up shit too. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care about putting on airs to people. I literally say, this is what you get. And I have to say, my dad, you know, he's an asshole. He's a son of a bitch. But, you know, he really like showed me how not to give a fuck now, or at least show you don't give a fuck while somebody, because I think words and things that hurts everybody when we handle it and we absorb it and get it out how we get it out. But at the end of the day, we have to really take a deep look within ourselves and say when we ain't shit, because we all have it. But it's up to us to fix those things. And I don't understand why we don't want to look inside ourselves and do that. If we do that, we'll be a better group of people, a better race, a better community. And we just got to really look at like what we're fucking up. And that's just the real true tea behind it. So I think a lot of times people want you to pacify and pat their pussy and all this shit and make them feel good about the things that they're doing. But at the end of the day, we're making these mistakes every fucking day. So if you're making the same mistakes, just like I'm just saying, just like me working as a caregiver, okay, you know, most caregivers, CNAs and shit like that, they're gonna make about $12, $13, $14, $15 an hour. Okay, that's a range. I'm just saying, it's a range. And you're gonna work. So as a CNA, you mean to tell me you're gonna work for 2 years, struggling at the rate that you're struggling, not paying your bills, not, you know, whatever you need, not meeting them on time, whatever, you're struggling for these 2 years. You mean to tell me you're not gonna try to figure out a way to make more money as a CNA? That like, I can't understand how people sit in shit like that. Like, it don't matter what you are, it's how you move about it. You know what I'm saying? How you move with what you have. So I lost my train of thought again. I was so there.
I did keep.
I was here with you too, bro.
I did keep something in mind that you were speaking about, like when you said accountability. Like, can we just accept our shit? So my thing is this. Like,
why can't we just say that? Yeah. You're not gonna sit, if you're, like I said, you're a CNA, you're gonna sit there for 2 years struggling. You're not gonna say this some bullshit. How can I make my life better? I can't go back to school, but I can damn sure make more than what I'm making.
It's easier. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
This is what I had to tell myself.
Yeah.
This is what I had to tell myself.
Okay, but don't cause me to lose my damn thought by over talking me, Potts. I'm about to lose my damn train of thought. Okay.
Huh?
I'm about to lose my damn train of thought. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to jump in real quick about what you said about acceptance.
Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm taking food. I'm listening.
Okay. About accepting our shit. I was just talking to a friend about this last night because of stuff he's going through. A lot of times people don't accept their shit because most people are blaming other people for the shit that's there. So it's kind of like the same attitude we all have, where if you're walking down a grocery aisle and there's shit out of place on the floor because you didn't put it there, you ain't gonna bother arranging that shit or putting that shit out the way or moving that debris out of the road because you ain't put it there. A lot of people have the same attitude as it relates to their traumas, as it relates to their insecurities. Because of how I was treated in school, this is why I feel this way. Because of how mom and dad treated me, this is why I feel this way. Because of what I've been through in relationships. And so because we are attaching the damage to something outside of us, we're also leaving it in the things outside of us to heal us and for it to take responsibility for what it did so that we can feel better. So that's why most people are not being introspective in that way. But what I do want to say to that is it's okay that the damage you're experiencing as yourself to not be the damage that you put there. I will also have to agree with Potts, and I say this all the time, you still have to take full accountability for it because it happened in your space. It happened in your soul. It happened in your mind. And at some point in time, you're going to have to realize, even though mom is to blame and the church is to blame and the pastor who touched you is to blame and the molestation is to blame, that all these other things are to blame, that because it happened to me and I have to go on in my life, I have to be accountable for that shit and deal with that shit so that I don't replicate the same pain done to me onto other innocent bystanders. There is a post that says, learn to heal your shit so that you don't bleed out on people who didn't cut you.
Or the church people, you can't bleed on the people. That's what church folks say. That's a real thing. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a real thing. That's true. That's a good point. You have to own your, your own flaws, and you have
but
to
here's the
responsibility
thing, but here's the thing,
right your own wrongs before
people be with the shit though. I'll be honest, I be honest. Like, well, maybe because I'm cute, I can get to play. I'm just gonna be honest, but like I just be saying shit. Sometimes I say shit just to see where a person's mind is, just to see. You know what I mean? And people be with the shits at the end of the day. The thing is you can't run your mouth. If you talk too much and you look like you're gonna go and tell some shit, people ain't gonna want to do whatever it is that you want to do. That's the problem. Niggas talk too much. So if you stop talking so much, you'll be able to successfully do what it is that you want to do and move how you want to move. And have all the niggas and do everything.
What you mean?
In general.
What is this pertaining to?
Well, I was talking about when Davion we were talking about being honest and open. And I was just piggybacking to saying you can be honest with people because people be with the shits. They be with it. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that's real.
So, Henry, I don't know how far you got in your discussion with Pot since me and Bucks, the guy was in a void somewhere when all this was happening. I know I had asked you before we did this live if you were comfortable talking about your own infidelity. Did you happen to get into that at some point in you and Pot's discussion?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Really?
I mean,
what are you talking about?
I spoke about it, being the cheater.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I spoke about it being the cheater, but I mean, I don't want to get in too much into situationals or anything.
Yeah, like we gonna get.
I'll just talk about it being the cheater.
Yeah, like we ain't gonna get specific with it.
Right.
Have you dealt with the things that, like, have you dealt with that? Like, have you sought any therapy? Have you sought to understand the components that contributed to you cheating and
Sorry, can you say that again? I had a phone call coming up.
Okay. I know you over there chopping up oodles and noodles and hot dogs and shit, but have you dealt with the components that contributed to you cheating? Like, have you sought therapy? Have you resolved those things? Do you feel like in another relationship going forward, that won't be an issue for you because you've cultivated and put into perspective what was needed in order to avoid cheating?
I haven't actually done any type of yeah, I haven't done any work on that, and I don't even know where I would begin.
Okay. So have you even begun the process of exploring it in your own mind? Like, why? Like, do you understand why you're saying you did it? Okay. I think the cheater has left the building. No. Okay.
No, I'm here. I'm trying to get you in about Bluetooth.
Okay, got it. Okay. So have you begun to explore it, like the why you did it at least, or you haven't like even put your mind on the action at all? Like you just haven't even sifted through.
I haven't even really given a thought, to be honest.
And how
but it is something that I should think about, and I'm glad that we're having this conversation because
Henry,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I want you to hear my voice slowly though, because I kind of want to guide a little bit. So I want you to sit right there.
Okay.
You haven't really explored it. What creates a lack of interest in not wanting to explore something that caused a pretty big issue in your life? Like is it just a defense mechanism to avoid guilt and shame? Is it a disassociation because the impact on you would be guilt and shame? Like, why is it that you would not have put your mind to it?
Believe it or not, it's kind of one of those things where until I'm having this conversation, I didn't even really, it never even entered my mind that I should get help on it. It would be one thing if I was like, you know what, I should get help on this. Oh, never mind, I'm not going to do it. But that thought hasn't even entered my mind that I should seek help, with infidelity and things.
I don't
Does that make
even,
sense?
maybe you may not even have to seek help. Help is just acknowledging it, really, just being cognizant of your feelings and your thought processes. That's all. Sometimes I don't even think, sometimes we go so deep and we say, oh, I got to get therapy behind it. We don't have to do therapy. I mean, I shouldn't say that as a life coach, but I'm not speaking as a life coach right now.
You're speaking as the confident, mature you that you believe is in other people and it's not, which is why people do need therapy.
Absolutely.
Everybody is not a pot.
We can just, no, it's not that everybody is a pot. The only difference is Potts just started looking at his behaviors and looking at how it affected other people. That's all.
That's something that people, but that's a function that hasn't been cultivated inside of a lot of people, which is why I touched on how most of us aren't really as introspective as we need to be. If we are introspective, we are very surface level introspect. We don't really break up the grass and get into the soil and dig through the worms and all the ooey gooey stuff and get to the actual root. So people who tend to be able to, is 444. I've been catching double digits ever since.
Oh yeah, 444.
Ever since Lucifer went back to hell in my life. So Henry, well, now that you are having this conversation, I mean, how do you feel about seeking understanding so that you don't have to be responsible for that issue in a future relationship? I mean, is that something that you're open to?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It'll definitely be something that, I will in relationships and other, dynamics going forward, I feel as though I'll be a lot more honest with people because I know what it's like to just kind of live in secrecy and and it's just not very, it's very confining, and I don't want to ever really I don't like entering into a relationship like that. I also know that I don't know how do I put this right. Even me, like, because when I had counseling, so when me and my wife, when I was married, when we had counseling, I remember the counselor said something, and I was like, what? I didn't even know you could. The counselor said something like, if this is the counselor, I'm the counselor. She was like, if let's say if again I am the counselor. She was like, if you are at the workplace and you find somebody that you're attracted to, you should tell your wife and say, hey, let's go out on a date because there's this girl at my job. I kind of like her a little bit, and she's been flirting with me. And let's kind of get together a little. Let's date each other. And I remember thinking in the back of my head, I was like, I didn't even know that you can have a conversation like that with your wife or with your girlfriend. I didn't even know that you could bring up the fact that there's someone else that you're feeling or something like that. And so I feel as though there is not enough conversation around the types of conversations that you can have with your significant other. And that's definitely, I mean, that blew my house, like, that just blew my mind. I mean, it completely blew my mind, that you can tell your wife or your significant other, hey, there's somebody that I'm feeling, I'm gonna need you to step your game up a little bit more, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't necessarily articulate like that to wifey. She might put a red bottom up inside your rectum where you don't want anything to be but what is supposed to be there. On top of that, I also want to speak to Yo Willie, who said to Jennifer, correct, so why is he even part of the conversation? I'm just going to assume that they're talking about Henry because he's cheated. A part of why I felt it was important for Henry to be here and for him to talk about his experience of infidelity is because the way that we also learn about where the fuck we're failing people has to do with hearing where all parties are coming from, both the villains and the victims, because both really essentially are fucking victims, which is why earlier on in this conversation, we talked about social conditioning, upbringing, what's been demonstrated to you, the way you've been raised, what's been instilled in you has major influence on who we end up being. And so much of it is who we actually are, that even when we have painted a superficial version of ourselves in our minds, our actions still reflect what's been demonstrated to us. So most people, like a lot of people who are physically abusive in relationships, were raised up in homes where domestic violence was the way that you express your anger, the way you resolve conflict, the way that you took control of the situation. Now, those very same people are people who don't even believe physical violence is right, and yet end up being abusers themselves, while also being against intellectually and emotionally what they're doing, but nonetheless resulting to the same behavior, because that's how much programming and conditioning takes place. I want you all to think about your life experiences and think about your upbringing when you are unconscious as basically the behavior of brainwashing. Because until you learn to be introspective and aware, you're living out what you've been brainwashed to do, and what you've seen again and again, and what you've been told again and again, and how you've been treated again and again creates the version of you that actually acts out. I'm not talking about the fantasy of yourself. I'm not talking about the sweet little Christian that does everything right. I'm talking about the reality that you're a mean, rude, bitter, resentful bitch. And while you go home and tell yourself that you are nice and godlike and everything else, the reality is you are a mean motherfucker. You are an unforgiving motherfucker, because that's the, I wouldn't say it's the real you, but that is you currently. That's the real you, not your mental impression of yourself, because we got 3 layers of stuff going on. We got our fantasy of ourselves, our idealistic self. And then we have the reality of our condition, which is what we actually end up doing, how we actually end up treating people, how we actually treat ourselves. Okay? And then we have the real self underneath all that fabrication, all that multi-layeredness, okay? And all of these things are happening simultaneously. Your fantasy, your higher self, and the actuality of your condition. Once again. So Henry, right? He's the product of something. There are environmental, societal, religious, all these nuances of our reality that contribute to why we think it's okay, or why we made the decision, or us operating unconsciously, subconsciously, etc. There are things that I find myself doing subconsciously. And I have to be like, oh, I have to become consciously aware. Subconscious behavior. Okay. And Henry, I want to hear from cheaters. I want to hear from the, because we need to explore what's missing so that we don't find ourselves, because look, when it comes to relationships, right, it takes two to tango. Okay. I'm not a component of the idea that in a relationship, each person is on their own. I believe there's a pull and tug, a give and take. I believe that I can put you in situations that can compromise your integrity. I can put you in situations that can make it harder for you to yield the right thing if I'm applying the right type of pressure to you, and vice versa. This is why in relationships, you might hear the old saying that your partner always knows the right buttons. People who love you know just how to press on your ass and bring something else out of you, okay? So I don't believe that we're fully on our own. When a person cheats, I want to explore the condition of the relationship too. What's happened in that relationship that even started to make you yield to the option of cheating? I want to know also who your partner is as well. I need to know who the fuck she or he is. I need to know the dynamics, because all these things are compromising, okay, to us. Now, all of us have acted out of character at some point in time in life in some God-given situation. What acting out of character has proven to us is that we're not simply being us because of our own whatever. That there is a role that external variables play into triggering us, into pulling us into another situation. I found myself saying, I'm not going to whip a bitch ass today, and whip the bitch ass today. Okay? I have found myself saying, I ain't going to cuss this motherfucker out when I look through this phone and see God knows what, and cuss that motherfucker out when I look through that phone and saw God knows what. We've all made decisions and set intentions forth, and then yet yielded to something else in the moment, which is why people whose shoes we've never walked in always tell us, bitch, stay in your lane, because unless it's you, unless it was your situation, you don't get to tell me how it is that you're really going to show up, how it is you're going to really deal with a situation. A lot of people in this comment section, and including myself, have said, I'm never going to go for cheating, and have forgiven a cheater relentlessly, have forgiven infidelity time and time and time again, because your ideas versus the way you actually handle situations when there is love, when your emotions are running, when you've been invested, are all things that make us sometimes yield to patience with a person. Yeah, cheating fucking sucks. I want to be cheated on, no. But if I've been with a motherfucker for 3, 4, 5 years, I've invested in a goddamn relationship. Guess what? I don't want to walk away from my fucking investment. So I'm considering the reality of how I'm going to really deal with fucking being cheated on, because I've cultivated a whole entire fucking life. And does that all wash away because you stuck your dick or your ass into a volcano? Those are the things that I'm going to have to personally reconcile. Now, I don't want to get too preachy and be too long-winded, so I'm going to let somebody else jump into this shit. But I mean, Henry's in the conversation because, first of all, I want him here. Second of all, he gonna be here whether you like it or not. And third of all, I think it's essential to have the balance and to hear from the other side, because I think that we can learn to be better parents, better lovers by hearing how we also play a role in compromising people. I just don't simply subscribe to this idea that we are fully on our own. Your partner has a role to fucking play in your mental health, your emotional health, your whatever. That's what makes it a relationship. And if it's not that, we need to find another fucking term, because if we're calling it a relationship, then what we're saying is that there's a shared accountability on both ends to contribute to each other's well-being. If I'm mistreating you, you're going to be an asshole. You're going to be a bitch. You're going to be somebody who I know you're not. But if I'm applying that pressure, I'm going to bring the abuse out of your ass. I'm going to bring the nastiness out of your ass. All of those things. A relationship is a fucking exchange. So there's accountability. And a lot of people don't like that shit, because a lot of people just want the cheater to be decapitated and want them to be fully responsible. And sometimes you're not. Bitch, you responsible also for that man cheating. Dude, you're responsible for that nigga cheating as well. You didn't make the final choice. But bitch, you set it up. You set it up for a motherfucker to fail. Now, yeah, if you have the strongest of integrity, if you got the strongest of character, there is no amount of fucking pressure somebody can really apply to you, okay? You're going to yield to your values. But my issue is most people haven't cultivated a strong integrity, a strong character. So that peer pressure and that influence to do the wrong thing might just be and have the final say so in the situation. Somebody just fucking talk. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, you was locking it. You was locking it. I just got tickled because you said a strong. You was even. Hello, Martin Luther LaQuisha. Martin Luther LaQuisha. Come on now. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, maybe done. But to God, you mighty quiet, nigga. Like, jump.
No, because I was waiting. I want everybody to talk. Everybody, they see me all the damn time, so you know it's okay. What was
I don't want you to get off this live and then be like, bitch, y'all ain't let me talk. Bitch, y'all ain't call my name. Bitch, I ain't have time to say what I want to say.
What's the question you asked previously?
I mean, it wasn't a question. I was just stating. So, but I was talking about a shared accountability in relationship.
Yeah.
She was talking about the sexual frustration like scenario.
But see, that's where, to me, that accountability is to understand that sometimes when you come into a union, there may be a moment where you have to cut ties and say, man, my shoulder's up. There may be a time where you have to cut ties. Like, you know what I'm saying? Things change, people change, situations, emotions, all of that. So, you know, you kind of, especially if you're in the early stages like that, you know, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, if you don't want to be in a relationship, don't be in one. If you want to be in a relationship, be in one. There are people that want to do what you want to do that are out there. I know. Trust me, you know.
Yeah. And I agree.
I'm not going to be in a relationship for quite some time.
Huh? I'm not going
to be in a relationship for quite some time because I want to really experience having multiple lovers. Like I've kind of like I've kind of wanted to while being in a monogamous relationship. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the, you take yourself into a relationship. You don't get into a relationship and then you just kind of, you change. I have desires of being with more than one woman. You know what I'm saying? And so I know that as a result of having been with the same person for quite some time, I'm gonna be single for quite some time, to not only to heal from that, but also to really just kind of enjoy having a lot of different options.
Okay, so speaking of that, great segue. Oh, are you?
I don't think anything is wrong with that. I so know that because I have people that are older than me that I'm cool with, and that they have those friends that they just hook up with, and they one-on-one, but it's that's the beauty of getting older, and that's what I'm experiencing and learning to maneuver. But yeah, you don't rush into nothing. There's nothing that can make you feel more fulfilled as a man, as an individual. Sometimes we feel like gotta have kids, we gotta do right, we gotta be this upstanding man. I'm gonna be dad of the year or husband of the year. Fuck all of that, because nobody's really living up to those standards, truthfully. You know what I mean? Even the people that do look like they are given those teas, they're really not. They be breaking down in the middle of the flow. Oh my God, what am I gonna do, Adam?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna get yourself together and stop biting off more than you can chew. These are real life situations that I'm speaking about, that I've seen. Moms in the middle of the floor, overwhelmed, dads breaking down crying and shit because they don't know. And it's like, okay, so you gotta all of that is fear. It's fear. A lot of the things and the reasons why we do things is so if we get rid of the fear, we conquer just about everything there is to conquer. Every obstacle that there is. And I can say that to y'all, but I still struggle too,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
It is what it is. It's a lifelong lesson.
Anita B. Stress-Free said, why does a cheater that uses an excuse to cheat won't leave the relationship? Well, the same reason why most of you who getting paid by minimum wage and can't sustain won't leave your job. The same reason why you are completely unhappy with your bosses won't leave your cubicles. The same reason why
we touched on that. We talked about that earlier. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like the same reason why most of you who driving a raggedy ass car and just won't use that income tax money finally to just get you some new shit, just won't get you some new shit. I mean, it's like there's a plethora of reasons. But I agree too, Nita. I believe you should leave a situation before you hurt someone else, because it's just not fair. But also, I understand how complex relationships are, and while we try to salvage them even at our worst attempts, and sometimes our worst attempts are cheating and lying, but trying to keep our relationship amidst the lying and the goddamn cheating. But I wanted to transition a little bit based upon, because I know we've already been here for quite a minute and I don't want to hold everybody up today, but Henry talked about singleness and being with multiple women.
Yeah, there was a person in the comments too just said, I would like to have multiple people in a monogamous relationship. She said that's cognitive dissonance. It's not. You can still have desires that you will sequester for the sake of actually being in a committed relationship. I mean, you can eat pizza every day but still want lasagna. I mean, that's silly.
Well, I think I'll just be real sad that I was talking about what was said. But I want to transition into polyamory, because I know earlier when I first jumped back into the conversation, y'all were talking about, most 70% of marriages in this country are failing. And that monogamy could be one of those issues. But statistically, at least, the biggest contribution to divorce in this country is finances. Are you there, Bub? Did you say something? Oh, You whispered. I didn't know if you could actually keep.
No, I was agreeing with what you were saying. I was agreeing.
But do we need to revisit monogamy as a template for relationships? Because I also feel like cheaters get a bad rep because they don't know that they're more polyamory than monogamy, but because they don't live in a culture where polyamory exists, that this thing exists, that most people try to squeeze and fit themselves, a square trying to fit itself into a circle, or a circle trying to fit itself into a square. So I feel like, what is our issue with polyamory? What bothers people about polyamory? I mean, what's the fucking issue?
I think it has to do with it's the way we view love. We view love and possession in the same sentence. You know, that I have to love one person.
Preach that, Henry. We use what in the same goddamn what?
Love and possession always have to be in the same sentence. Whereas
you better talk to cisgendered heterosexual man. You better talk that shit, bro. You talk, damn it.
I'll let you guys chew on that. You guys can hash it up.
Unpack that.
No, you're talking good. You're talking good.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's just like what you were saying. Potts is just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's what we saw. It's what we saw from, you know, man meets woman, man marries woman, they have kids, and it's always a binary relationship. It's always one and one, and that's it. You know, anything outside of that is of the devil, and we don't have like a rubric of how that's supposed to even work. There's not like a book. Well, there is a book on how that's supposed to work, but you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody subscribes to you know, loving multiple people and or being the object of someone's affection and still feeling secure when that person's love and affection is shared with someone else.
Let me unmute. Now, you know, polyamory is different from polygamy. Polygamy is a situation where you get to
Yeah.
and you get
Like, I'm speaking specifically about polyamory, not polygamy. Polyamory is where you're loving, and polygamy is where you can like marry multiple people, right?
Polygamy is where you are the center of all the emotions and sex, and polyamory is where the group is the center of all the emotion and the sex. So in a polygamy,
okay, all right, yeah,
you can have two wives, but they are not to have each other or nobody else, but they both have you. In polyamory, the wife and the wife can have each other. You can have the both of them. Y'all have each other. It's a free for all. It's a full we dynamic in polyamory. It's a me and you in a polygamy situation. It's Beyonce and the girls in a polygamous situation. Okay.
Okay.
So, but you touched on something. Love. Oh, I forgot. Henry is. Potts is muted. What you said there, Potts?
I know you're making a gist of it, but it's everybody. It
Polyamory is a we. It's a group. It's a us. Everybody's in relationship.
Beyonce and the girl.
Polygamy is Beyonce and the girls. It's me and them two. Me and them three. And they all about me and not about each other. Because once again, like, polygamy revolves around like one person. It's the sun for the rest of the planets. But polyamory is like the cluster of stars all sharing the sky together.
Right.
You know, they're all in it together. So, but Henry touched on something really fucking profound. Love to us oftentimes is synonymous with possession. That's a very, very profound statement. I also believe, I believe that that polyamory is the highest ascension of relationship. I believe whoring around is basic animalistic function. Monogamous relationships are kind of like first level awareness. Polygamy is like second self-awareness. Because if you are ascending to a point where you also realize, or you are allowing your capacity to love to be shared amongst more than just one person, I think that's an elevation of consciousness. And then if you enter into full-on polyamory, you've gotten to this, you've ascended to this agape, all-inclusive oneness. And I believe that polyamory is a truer reflection of what love is, because everything about polyamory absolutely destroys everything the ego is. As Henry said, in the ego is possessiveness. You would have had to transcend your ego a great deal in order to also be in a polygamous or in a polyamory relationship. This idea of I'm not incomplete because you are with other people. I don't become incomplete because you're with someone else. Let me transition real quick. Hold on.
While he transitioning, I'm just gonna say, but people have to know the difference of what their relationship is. This is specific to
Definitely.
about. I know people are gonna try to mix in this with your atypical regular relationship. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there real quick.
Is Davion frozen?
Looks like he's frozen.
Okay, I'm back. I had to transition from hotspot to Wi-Fi. Everybody there?
Who come in?
Yeah, we got two of you. Well, I see.
Huh?
I see.
One just wasn't enough.
Right. Okay, there it is. Now before again. So yes, I believe that polyamory is pure representation of love, because a love is all inclusive. Love, and a lot of people have an issue with like, well, how can you love more than one person? How can that work? The same way that you love more than one pet, you have more than one child you love, you have more than one relative you love, you have more than one parent you love. We are practicing polyamory, just not in the context of romance. And then we get to romance and we're like, well, how can you love more than one? How can you be connected to more than one? Pops, you go ahead and jump in.
Cool. Yeah, because you know, Davion and I, we've had this conversation before, and there was a time where I was like, hell no, this don't make no sense. I could never, this doesn't make any sense. And then, you know, I had to visit the fact that it is about possessiveness. Like, this person is mine, and nobody is anyone's at the end of the day. Nobody. And I know that I had to analyze that thing, and I sat back and I said, damn, especially how I be talking to my dudes and stuff like that. Yeah, it's possessive. It's a possession, and that's not cool to come from that angle. Sometimes it's cute, it may be hot for a moment or whatever, but intentionally coming from that angle, from your heart and your intentions, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's something you gotta visit. You gotta visit, and I'm visiting that too. And that helps us with the loss of a relationship or the loss of people in our lives. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we come in by ourselves and we go out. We can't take none of these people with us. So that's how I kind of look at it. But yeah, Suki, got good sick from my granny. Hey, I wouldn't want to say that for a minute. Every time I see that name pop up. But yeah. I was like Suki though. I was really like Suki. She just said she could never, you know that.
I mean, I think we all started as Suki. I don't think polyamory people came out of the womb polyamory. I think you grow into this, and I think this probably happens as you get older, because your ego does begin to loosen as you mature in life. You don't feel.
You're frozen.
He froze. Yeah,
he's frozen. Davion's frozen. So I'm gonna say, say that.
What you think, Bubs? They want to hear from you, bro.
Oh,
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
You clear? Okay. I mean, I can appreciate people who understand or try to discover or try to figure out, explore what that is for them. But once again, it goes back to the beginning. Just be open and honest about it. Because just like there's some people who are, there are some people like myself who do believe in monogamy. And I guess it can go back to the way that I was raised as well. I was raised in a 2-parent household, mother and father still together. All this time, I think they're 35, 36 years married. And I had that strong foundation for that there. And then also my grandparents, before she passed away from Alzheimer's, they were in their golden years of marriage. So I can believe that it's real. As far as the possession part, I feel like when you start becoming controlling to where you can't let your partner still live their life, then I think that's more of a possessive thing. But I think when you both communicate to each other, okay, this is what I want, this is what you want, we find the commonalities in this. And if we're both monogamous, this is something that we both agree to. You get what I'm saying? That's why I think a lot of the stuff that be clashing so much is because we're not clear on what it is that we really want, first of all, because we're still trying to figure all that out. And it's okay to figure all that out if you want to, but I would just say the easiest way to deal with it without having casualties because of it is to just be honest and say, look, this is where I am. I like this. I'm not gonna lie to you. It could become something. It may not become something that in form of expectation on it. I'm just gonna go ahead forth with it. I can respect somebody who says that and be like, okay, then that gives me a chance, because at the end of the day, yeah, it's about them, but it's about how you feel too. Like, this is a two-way street. I'm supposed to be happy and satisfied in this relationship as well. And if both people aren't going to do it, then going back to what the question that Daviana asked in reference to, the sexual frustrations, use that for example. If that's the case, I mean, of course, because I love you, I'm going to do the best I can to exhaust every option that I have. But if nothing works, and just like you said earlier, Pot, sometimes things just come to an end. And to be honest, I think when we think more about that, it kind of helps us to be more present in the relationship, because it's going to end one day. And we always sit here and talk about, my partner cheating on me and breaking my heart. And I've said this before in previous lives, I'm pretty sure, might be a chance where, you sitting here and y'all done been together for 10, 15 years, still having bomb-ass sex, the money coming in, everything's cool, and you wake up one day and your partner doesn't. They're still taken away from you. So I think when we think more about that, it helps us to be more present in the relationship. And you only have one life to live, and I want to enjoy my best fucking life with every goddamn thing. Absolutely. And if that means that I have to be single for a while until I attract that somebody into my life, I'm cool with that, because I'm not gonna put myself in a situation that's going to hurt me to try to help someone else change. Because at the end of the day, like the whole thing is being said, the key word of the day, accountability. No matter what you do, you're gonna always be accountable, whether it was done to you or not. Here's the thing: we're not accountable for, how can I say this? We're not responsible for what happens to us, but we are responsible for the cleanup. No matter what it is, whether it was done to us, fucked us up, it's our responsibility, because that therefore shows us the power that we have. When you can pull yourself out your own shit, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You're on a whole nother level. So that's how I feel about it. I'm still a monogamous ass now.
I'm so mad that I just missed everything that Buff the God just did. I can't even respond to it. But
everybody would have read it for film. That's why they missed it. See, God is real. He's preventing.
Can you give me? Can you just give me like a gist of what I, like in a nutshell, what I just missed?
Yeah. Basically, what I said was, I can understand people trying to explore different areas of relationships, whether it be polygamy, whatever the case may be, but just be honest about it. And if you're going to explore it, don't try to enter into something where someone else's emotions is attached to the situation. Just be free and single and be a free spirit and just do it. I mean, there's people out there who want to do the same thing that you want to do. You're never alone. There's always people who believe in who have the same thought patterns. All this stuff is you. Wouldn't it be better to attract someone who thinks the way you do? Y'all can understand what's going on, and then the relationship that y'all have, there won't be any mental gymnastics. I don't have to sit here and try to figure out what you're thinking and my emotions, and it's pissing you all, it's like we are going to be able to gel so well, but you gotta motherfucking be honest and talk first. Because why sit here and lie about it? Because eventually the truth gonna come out. So I'd rather just you tell me the truth and it sting a little bit and I can move on with it than to sit here and have a whole fucking ego death and now I gotta walk through the valley of the shadow of death again just to get back to something.
Right.
That's it.
So what was your actual views on polyamory though? Because I know like I'll be telling people to not be polyamory while in a relationship.
That's cool. For people who don't, that's cool, but that's just not for me. That's just not for me. And I was saying, going back to what you were saying as far as the whole jealousy and possession thing, I don't feel like it's possession if you allow your partner to go out there and live life. But at the same time, there's still a mutual agreement here. Because if we're going to do that, we might as well just drop the whole relationship and just say we're in a partnership.
No.
We like building a business together. My nigga like, okay, we coming in this shit. We signing the paperwork. We agreed. We had the conversation and agreed that we're gonna do this. So now my thing is we gotta stick to the thing, because when you don't, then that's when motherfuckers get sued. Then that's when motherfuckers all that shit. Why break the contract if you know going in? Because like I said, you should have some sort of idea about it. You know what I mean? And if you're going into something and then it changes, be honest about that too. Like I said, I'd rather you tell me the truth and I hurt a little bit and you explain to me what's going on. Not saying that I'm going to be upset or I might feel some type of way. That's my ego. When you tell me the truth, that's now my burden to deal with the truth. You've done your part. But once you do that, allow me the opportunity to deal with it and heal from it, as opposed to stringing me along because you're afraid about being open about who you are or what you feel or what you think. I mean, just be honest. That's it. Just be honest. So let's
talk about
a monogamous dude.
So you hit on something that I think is interesting. So what actually happens in a relationship where the relationship is 9, 10 years old, 7 years old? Somebody has grown to want to be polygamous or polyamory.
Mm-hmm. Then if it gets to that point,
do you take the plunge with your partner? Or do you bounce because this ain't what you signed up for?
I'm a bounce because, like I said before, in the beginning, it's both. We both have to be satisfied in this, not just one person. It has to be both of us satisfied in the situation. If I'm sitting here and I'm sacrificing something like that, especially to that degree, it's kind of like, nah, bro, you might as well just go ahead and just do you. I love you enough. I love you enough to allow you to go do what you feel like you need to do, because that's going to do something to me. That's going to make me feel some type of way. And I feel like it's okay for me to feel that way too. Because you ain't about to go out here and get all the shit you want to do and do all the shit you want to do. And I'm sitting over here like, no, this is not what we agreed. So yes, I love you. It's going to hurt. I'm going to cry, do all that shit. It's cool. And I'm going to move on. God's still good. And then on top of that, there are billions of people on this goddamn planet. I don't know how many fine niggas every goddamn where. I think Nicki Minaj and Rihanna had a song way back in the day when they was talking about like, niggas just falling like the rain. Like, they're always there. There's going to be more. Don't trip over that situation. You know what I mean? So.
I totally interesting about the idea of monogamy and people who cling to monogamy is like there's one thing that I won't say it forced me to consider polyamory, but it really put polyamory into perspective for me, and that was death. Like I think about how in a relationship, your partner's either going to leave you by choice or they're going to leave you by force. If they leave you by choice, it's a willful disconnection and separation from you. If they leave you by force, it's because of the death process, illness, accident, whatever the case may be, that whipped your partner away. With the reality of death being a part of all of our lives, I believe that the invention of death is to be an ego buster. It's to be a nut buster. Like the reality that your life is coming to an end, no matter who you love, no matter what things you are attached to here, no matter who loves you, no matter how pot. Speaking to the mic. Oh, mute them. Huh? Hold on. Okay, how would you say it now, Pox? Like, say it. Huh? I can't hear you. Like, you got to unmute yourself.
He's saying you got to mute everybody
saying you
because
go.
we hear that crackling.
Oh, okay. Death. Yes. So by choice, by force. So with death, in my perspective, being a big ego buster that makes you face the reality of life, I think about like the evolution of relationships, and I say to myself, well, if I'm going to lose my partner no matter what, either by choice or I'm going to lose them by force, what actually am I holding on to or using to, like, as Henry said so profoundly, love being equated to possessiveness? What's reinforcing? I believe that the reason why we all hold on to anything is because of, we know there's a pending doom ahead. We know that there's a inevitable separation that's going to happen. We all are aware that we're going to die. And so this, and when we live from our egos, obviously the ego is resistant to the letting go process. So it reinforces us to hold on to things, hold on to possessions, hold on to people, cling to life, fight for your life. Ironically, you have all these Christians who talk about they can't wait to go to heaven, but then as soon as cancer happens and stage 4 cancer happens and AIDS happened and a car accident happens and the rooftop is pinning you to the ground, you're crying for God for life.
And coronavirus happens.
Huh?
And coronavirus happens.
Coronavirus happens, and now you're clinging to life, but you want to meet the Lord. So I'm just like, if there's going to be an inevitable letting of go of it all, what is the fucking point of not sharing my partner? And what is the point of me not sharing myself too? Because I also want to talk about the reality that we don't stop being attracted to other people just because I'm with your black ass. Me putting a ring on your finger doesn't keep my ass from not thinking other people are dope as fuck, other people are sexy as fuck. It doesn't keep me from having natural chemistry with other motherfuckers. Like, just because I want you, just because
I want to preface that in the beginning, though. You have to preface that.
No. The issue about the beginning is that, well, see, I agree with that, but the issue with the beginning is that most people not doing the work in order for that to be a preface. Most people are just finding themselves as they go through life, and so you can end up in I know couples where people have gone in to be married and to be monogamous, and the other partner is, you can call it, some people might call it elevation, some people might call it de-elevation, but I'm going to say elevating. They may want something that wasn't a part of the initial, and that's fine, because if you're saying, and if you're saying, and if Henry is saying, we grow, we change, once again, keep in mind, a relationship to somebody is just you getting to watch another motherfucker grow up in front of you. And you're gonna watch all that growth happen. You're gonna watch all that transformity happen. You're gonna watch that, and that shit ain't gonna look like your idea or his idea or y'all's two initial ideas, because none of us know what the fuck our transformity actually is going to look like in life. We're fucking growing. I don't know who the fuck I'm gonna be. I don't know what experience are gonna lead to epiphanies, revelations, a change of worldview, a change of perspective. I may go into this shit as a diehard Christian and may be a Muslim 7 years in because I had a shift and change. And
each epiphany is the next person's epiphany. It's finding another person with the like-minded epiphany. That's the thing. That's where we're making a mistake.
But I get that.
No, I just want to add that in there. I just want to add that in there. You're hitting it. You're good.
But the issue is, people already have a relationship going on with whom they're changing in front of. So it's not like, oh, because I've changed, we should just go our separate ways.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, my stream is weird. Is everybody still in the building? for one.
I see everybody.
Something that, okay, can y'all see me? Because I'm experiencing monogamy right now. Like something weird is happening. Can y'all?
We can see you.
Hear me? Okay.
You're
Somebody can talk. I'm gonna transition from my hotspot to my Wi-Fi real quick and see what happens. Oh,
See?
never mind. Okay, wait. I think we're doing the butterfly again. I think everything's fine. Nope, everything's still frozen. Okay, let's try.
I see you.
No, I'll be right back.
I'm over here doing everything you're doing. Whew.
Okay, hello. Are we back?
It always trips me out when I see a fifth person come in, but it be you. I'll be like, yo, who is that?
It's polygamy.
Right.
Okay, now. So, okay, so yeah, so I hear what you're saying about like-mindedness, but the issue is like people be changing who are already in long-term relationships. So
Mute these joints. Mute them.
everybody is going to be on. Everybody muted. Okay, fine. Everybody's muted. Okay, so I understand like-mindedness. But once again, people are already in relationships. So I'm now using the example of you're already in a relationship. You've already invested. Y'all have kids. Y'all years in. This has already happened. People changing. And it's not that I don't want you. I just want other than you. It's not like because I want someone else that I'm disinterested or dissatisfied, but I have a capacity. My capacity, my need to let my love flow is greater than who I came in as in the beginning. And to be honest, and a lot of people who love monogamy not gonna like this shit, but I honestly feel like it really should be the person who ain't there yet who needs to actually take a fucking chance and actually grow the fuck up and let your fucking ego go. Stop holding on to a false fucking reality because your partner does not, in fact, belong to you. I don't give a fuck what you tell yourself. I don't give a fuck what type of ring on your finger. I don't give a fuck if you have babies for that motherfucker.
That ego, though. That ego is a
we so desperate. We so fucking desperate about wanting to possess and wanting to belong that we just refuse to even entertain like letting go. And I want us to really sit in what disturbs us. What disturbs us about sharing? What disturbs us about,
and that's what I did.
Memory. And why is your partner wanting to be romantically involved with other people? Like, why do you feel that's taken away from you or taken away from y'all? Because when y'all has 100 fucking kids together, you ain't feel like your partner was split in a billion different directions. You still felt like your partner loved you. When y'all got 100 goddamn businesses going together, when y'all got 100 goddamn farms and cows and everything else, but now because there's another bitch involved, like now because there's another nigga involved, like what I don't understand what doesn't, like, it's something that doesn't cross over into, and I just want to understand what doesn't cross over. Why does it become, when it comes to that romantic shit, why do we clench up? What stops? Like, what about the sharing mechanism just comes to a fucking, and I believe obviously it's just a full-on confrontation of the ego. Letting go and the idea of sharing is just an absolute direct confrontation of your ego, because as Henry said,
possession.
Love equals possessiveness in our culture because we all have that God-given ego, and it's being reinforced by all the ideas and philosophies and songs and medias and teachings and all the bullshit we put into people. And so we have a big fucking issue. But once again, I do want us to challenge the idea of what is disturbing us. Why is it such a bad thing to share your partner, or for you to share yourself, or for y'all to have each other and have others too? I mean, I just want to know what the fuck's wrong with that. Hmm?
For me,
I think myself.
Yeah, for me, I think what it was I had to, when you initially brought that topic up and we talked about it weeks ago, it really had me to go in and analyze what is it. And it was all possession. It was all fear. Everything that I didn't want to happen, that I thought potentially could happen in entering in a polygamous type of relationship, was all based in fear. Now, have I done it? No. Will I do it? Probably not, because I don't advise anybody to do anything like that unless they're with someone who is in tune with themselves. If you don't know yourself, then it kind of is just you running amok in a sense, and you won't be successful in a polygamous type of setting. But if you are no one really is all together one with self. But if you are working towards that, I think it would be a cool idea. I think I would do it. I would definitely do it, or attempt to do it, and see if it was truly something that could work. Because I had to analyze it. I had to sit there and say, Potts, what is it about this? Because I come from the old-fashioned way, as Bubs was talking. My parents married, 30, long time. Family is just what we see. But then when we look at it, and when I look at my own self as an individual male, I have to say that, there are some unsavory things about myself in regard to that possessiveness that I have in regard to my partner and what I am expecting them to do, and all of that. So, I mean, I can go further into that conversation in regard to the heteronormative behaviors that I have in regard that I instill upon the guys that I'm dating. So we really can go down the rabbit hole. But, the polygamous, it's all based in the fear of it to me, and you can still choose not to do it because I've yet to do it. But to not have the ability to even open-mindedly think about it or address it, that's a fearful thing. That's something that you don't want to address. So that's why it's important to delve in, go in, and figure those things out. And Davion helped me do that, because I'm telling you, I was like, Bub, fuck that. I'm not with it. I think I was even yelling. I think we got into a little argument.
Bubs is still on that. Fuck that. Fuck you, bitch. Pay me. What you not gonna do?
About me?
Yeah. You're still on that. Fuck that shit.
Well, because here's my thing. Even in a poly type of situation, we have the idea also that we can love multiple people. But I even feel in poly situation, there's still gonna be one main bitch that's gonna be able to reign over everybody else. I mean, we could take, for example, the whole Nature Boy situation, who's a YouTuber here. This nigga got I don't know how many goddamn wives he got, but it's always that one main light-skinned chick, I forgot her name, that's like his close to thing anyway. So I still there's not an equal of love even in that. Now, not saying that can't be the case, because there are people who, like you said, have enough love inside of them to be able to give to other people. And then there's people like myself who's like, one motherfucker is enough. It's dealing with them, and they growing and evolving and changing and shit. I gotta grow and evolve and change too as well. But at the same time, with the whole monogamy thing, once again, it goes back to what it is that we agreed on. I know what I want, and I'm gonna get what I want in my life. Just like that nigga gonna get what he want in his life.
I'm gonna be honest.
So if you want to get what you want in your life,
that's not it, because I don't. My issue,
get it with the other people who want to get it with you in your life.
I
but
get
for
that.
me,
I get that.
I want to be happy because I want to.
But I feel like there's a conflict. Like there's a conflict of I'm gonna grow and I know what I want, because a part of growth is completely unknown. So it's like, are you really growing, or you're just like living to create like your exact version of reality, which is, I mean, like people try to do it all the time, but I feel like the reason why life keeps like putting a finger up our ass every time we try to stick so closely to what we expect and what we want is because you're supposed to be loosening up some of this shit, some of these ideas, some of these needs, some of these expectations. So I feel like a part of growth is a willingness to at least in part as a mystery, and then to see life in part as a mystery, and then leaving the mystery to develop itself as you engage in what you realize your life is calling you forward to. Like a lot of people who left college to pursue a music career, like their life was calling them, and they saw the calling, scared, nervous, never did it before, don't know what the fuck it's gonna look like going forward, but I'm being called. And I feel like if you're really trying to grow, we just have to surrender in part to that, because the truth is we don't know what the fuck is like. Not that we don't know, because it's not about even knowing, it's just about, and we all have our beliefs and our different views, but my belief is God didn't put me here as a temporal being, as a temporary thing, to think of myself as a temporary thing. And my job is to let go, because the reality of death should be motivating me to let go instead of strongly identify with so much. And as it relates to love, it's just interesting being someone who can be filled up with a lot of talent, you have a lot to offer, and then to think that your life is causing you to restrict that and to isolate that to an individual, and yet it just, you know what, let me stop being politically correct, bitch. I think monogamy is full of shit. I think monogamy is a training wheel experience, bitch. I think monogamy is just got.
Say it with your chest, bro.
I was gonna say, just say how you feel, because you going.
Yeah, I can't do it no more. I can't dress it up no fucking more. I just gotta
with your chest, bro.
now. So I believe that monogamy is for elementary, polygamy is for middle schoolers, and polyamory is for high schoolers. Like, there's a fucking hierarchy to this shit, and I don't believe that motherfuckers, that I don't believe it makes monogamy don't make sense as a lifetime goal. Like, I'm just like, what? It's just weird, because we're not even healed, and then we're engaging in relationships.
Come on.
And then the way we approach relationships in the Western world is, I want a partner so that I can dump all my bullshit onto you and make you responsible for shit that I am inherently responsible for, like my happiness and my peace of mind and my sanity and my well-being. But but monogamy directly fucking conflicts with that, because how the fuck can you ever grow to be fully accountable for your peace of mind, for your happiness, if you have ideas that promote attachment and material identification? Because as long as I think that I'm doing the right thing because I don't live with my mother at 21, that's going, like, my values of my manhood or my womanhood are going to be wrapped up into shit that ain't got nothing to fucking do with really what's going on in my soul, which is the real full development of, once again, like, I believe egolessness is the goal. I don't give a fuck if you've been with your mom your whole life. I don't give a fuck if you never went to fucking college. What the fuck you think that shit means to God? What the fuck do you think owning a BMW or living in an apartment versus living in an upscale neighborhood is supposed to fucking mean in the grand scheme of a fucking universe that was created out of the fucking imagination of a fucking being that's so goddamn transcendent that the vibrational frequency of our sight can't even see this thing that's governing and gluing reality all the fuck together. And then we get here as these fucking humans and we simplify fucking life to be so fucking dumb that I understand why people fucking cheat and fucking jump out of planes and fucking parachute, because you're trying to make this we're simplifying it, making it so basic that living isn't even fucking enjoyable. So yes, I need adrenaline rushes. Yes, I need fucking excitement. Yes,
that's why you have people.
Yes, I need adventure. Yes, I need all these things because
want to get fucked down at these sex parties, and they go these sex parties, and then they take 10, 12, 15 raw dicks, and you be like, baby, why did you do that? Like, what was the problem? What were you thinking? And it was something they were trying to get this feeling, you know, and that they're trying to feel, and that's a part of it. What you're saying, totally. I'm just speaking from what I heard and knowledge. You know, Davian, you know, we done had these conversations. So.
Yeah, I do know.
Getting fucked down at the sex parties, getting these 12 and 13-inch dildos, and just I just like it's what. That's something underlying there.
Oh shit, Henry got to come back, and I'm sorry. He done.
Yes,
sorry.
Yeah, no, you good. No, like you're right, and like Robbie Privilege just said, a monogamy is the biggest challenge to love someone that openly and that's free to grow and to learn that deeply is hard. To be faithful and fully so connected to your soulmate. I understand the beautiful sentiments around monogamy and commitment, but I think we still have to consider monogamy, because the truth is, like,
nothing's wrong with considering anything. Like, it's like I probably won't do the polygamy thing, but I can consider it.
I mean, because like, even this statement, openly and free to grow and learn that deeply is hard. To be faithful. Do we realize that we can be integral, honest, faithful people to more than just one person? Anybody who's a manager is doing just that. They're managing with integrity. Anybody who's a supervisor, anybody who's a shift leader, anybody who's running multiple business, anybody who's raising children, not a child, but it doesn't, like, monogamy is just not the end all of all ends. And the issue,
and it don't seem to be working either.
It ain't working, and
it will work for the people that want it to work, though. That's
I believe. Look,
that seems to be only 50% of the population.
So it's okay. That's okay. That's what I'm saying. It's okay, but I think we got to go back to the decision making. We're just making poor decisions. If you know that that's not what you want, don't do it. And
right. And I agree with that.
Yeah, that's like. But truthfully, this is what I would want. In the perfect world of pots, I would have my dude, and I would have a female, right? A woman.
What?
Well, because I want to have kids still. So the kids would have to be able, I feel like, you know what I mean? I could do it. But I mean, I grew up with my mom and dad. So I feel like, you know, my kids would definitely be like some harem type of shit that people wouldn't understand, but definitely it would be, you know, something that I could do it and be happy where everybody's happy. I'm happy, the kid's happy, you know, and he's happy, she's happy, we're all happy.
So let me ask you this, bro. What are you going to do? Like, if you know that, you know, you want kids, and that's, you know, let me tell you, that is something that is in you. That is a biological thing that you are responding to. You know what I'm saying? So like what are you gonna do?
No, I knew it was something biological when I started like really like deep down in my heart. I was like, damn, I want some pussy. And I don't really talk like that, but like when And I said, what the fuck? So I went to analyze it. Like, what is it? And, you know, and I talked to it with a couple of, you know, people that I trust with speaking about it. And it just was like, we came up with the analogy that it's just human, your normal human, how your body works at times. Sometimes it's just a mechanical type of thing of human nature, just like animals will do A, B, and C. I will put on a wig and be Bonquisha. She's silly. Suki. So, you know, it just one of those things, but I think I can have it. I think that if you can have whatever you want, because like I have a friend that's going to be the surrogate, you know, so I could have kids today. I just have to pay 15 stacks. Like I wouldn't have sex with a friend again, because I've done that before and it totally killed our relationship. Because for me, even though we had known each other for years, it devastated everything, because I began to have a standard as a partner as opposed to a friend. And so the levels change, you know, or the expectations change. So I would never do that again, but I do have the opportunity to have kids. It's just that I got to get up the money to do it that way.
Yeah, you know, and it's good. I mean, and it's great that you're even coming up in a society where you as a gay man can even say that, because I'm the product of a gay man. They got married and had kids, or bisexual or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And he lived his entire life as a straight man, you know what I mean? And did what he did on the side, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, that was back in the 80s and the 70s and stuff like that.
It was different.
It was different. And
it was even different when we came up, because I'm 37. When I came out in 2002, almost 20 years ago, it was, you know, you saw a little bit here and there, but it wasn't like that. I'm from a small town. So it was just like, whoa, you know, and so I grew up in the church. So there was a lot of things mentally that I had to go through, that I dealt with and everything. But, you know, I think that one thing that my dad did teach me, he's like, you could do whatever you want to do. You could do whatever you can have whatever life you want to have. He taught me that he was a Boy Scout. So he would say, you're brave, reverent, and these lists of shit that you know, that they say about describe the Boy Scouts. So he'd always say those things. It's about 7 or 8 of them or whatever. And but he would always say that, you know, despite all the fucked up shit he was doing, he did instill those things. So when I look back, if I take away all the negative shit and look at just the positive shit he did, he said. So I always grew up kind of thinking like, hey, even knowing that I was gay at a young age, very young age, I was like, shit, I'm gonna have me a bitch, I'm gonna have me a nigga, I'm gonna have me whatever I want to have. And swag shows that now. And so you know, it is what it is. Whatever I feel like is what it's gonna be. So I know that by the people that know me, they will be down because they know they're gonna be taken care of. They're gonna be fly. You know, it's me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. People that know me, they know me. So, and it's not to brag. This is just my situation and what I'm talking from my experiences. You know, that is true within my life.
So I want to talk about the whole kid thing, cause a recent demonic ex went on a damn cheap ass raggedy city trend clearance rack ass smear.
He called it city trends.
Talking about a bitch wouldn't let him fuck other bitches in order to, because he wouldn't have kids, right? So I'm neutral on kids. I can have them and I have them. I'm fine either way. Okay. Now, me and my ex have talked about polyamory. Okay. That's actually something that I really wanted for us, because the way that his brokenness and ego is set up, I want a bitch on 2nd shift, 3rd shift, and 4th shift because I need a fucking break from your ass. So polygamy was fine with me, but also I also didn't want a polyamory relationship with him, because as you stated earlier, Potts, and as kind of this has been the general consensus of the group, is polyamory isn't a cure if you are still unaware, unconscious, a liar, a cheater, and unintegral.
Right.
So you're just putting more mother.
That's a good point.
Over. So I would love to be in polyamory, but not with you, nigga. You fucked up.
Right.
You and I can't be in a polyamory relationship. Me and an integral person can take those steps toward polyamory, polygamy, etc.
And we're only speaking about the integral people. That's it. We're not talking about the people that need to do the work to become.
I think it's fair to bring to talk about all things because I've kind of brought it up as the cheater. You know what I mean? Like, and you're right. I mean, because in a polyamorous relationship, you have to be honest. You have to be open. And cheaters, like, you know what I'm saying? A person who is not of integrity would not be able to be in a relationship like that because they, like, even if they got 3 wives or 3 girlfriends, they still gonna go out and get another one that nobody know about.
Yeah, a bunch of bullshit happening on the back end in the alleyway. Yeah. Like it doesn't make you a better person. Like it won't fix. Like a lot up the threesomes and the open door policy as a way to fix. It's not fixing if the issues in a relationship have to do with who you both are as people. So fucking other people is not going to change or grow their relationship. Being with other people isn't going to repair their relationship. Only repairing yourself is going to make your relationship better. And then from there, what?
I was just thought about it. I was like, damn, I was just sitting up here thinking like if I had like 2 people, like, even if it was a female or dude, well, you know what though, I wouldn't. Okay. See, that's the thing. I'm trying not to put my heteronormative, like I'm like, well, damn, I ain't gonna have to cook because I make the woman cook. She'll cook, and I ain't gotta cook shit because I can cook. I can burn. So,
I mean, just put your heteronormative shit on it, because you're probably gonna find a woman who has heteronormative practices and beliefs. She's gonna probably want to and be a nurturer and take care of the home and all of that shit any fucking way.
And we had that conversation how I got the baskets and I still throw my clothes on the floor, but the baskets is right there, but I just don't.
But let's also talk about kids. I think it's funny that my ex could talk about having kids when you are still a fetus in consciousness. What the fuck are you gonna have kids for? What I don't like about this culture and kids is that I feel like we have kids for all the wrong fucking reasons. A child is not put in your life for you to live vicariously through. They're not in your fucking life to fulfill your fucking ideas and to finish some shit you never got done in 87. They're not in your fucking life to conform to your fucking religious beliefs and social norm bullshit. Like, if you're not having a goddamn child with the total and utter pure intention of just allowing another fucking soul into this world and then learning how to help that soul to develop in the way that actually means something to that soul, you ain't gotta just have no fucking child, because there's no
other. The reason why is because people are having kids on accident. The reason why is that people are having kids on accident, and that's no shade to no.
But even when they have them, they're having them intentionally with the vision in mind. They're having them intentionally with expectations in mind.
But
I had my daughter. I knew the moment I conceived my daughter, I busted a nut with intention. I was like, I'm gonna make this baby, and I saw that first little tiny heartbeat on that screen, and I was like, yes, Lord, here she is.
Like, I'm just saying, because my dad talked to me about stuff like that, about men impregnating the women they want to have their kid. Like, my dad kicked it to me. He taught me how to seduce people at like 13. You know what I'm saying? So I don't use my powers for evil. I only use them for good. However, you know, when you have kids, it should be intentional. And I think a lot of times people are just fucking and just fucking and oops, having a baby. Well, I'm pregnant. And so you have to, and then we have to go back and think too, if we are, see, this is where we get into the science of shit. I get deep with this shit. We are 70% made of water, right? If radioactive and different things affect how the moon, right? Okay, the moon moves the oceans and the seas and shit, right? So it moves us. It may have a pull on us and make us that crazy. So the moon has all of that. If Fuck, I hate when I do that shit. I done lost my train of thought. I'm done.
I was right there with you too. You was talking about the moon, water. I was waiting.
But if it's doing things without intention, so let me get back to my thoughts. We're right there with the moon. Go back. My dad taught me how to. I gotta go back to my thoughts. Tell me how to seduce people and having the kids. Yeah, so people are having kids and they just popping these kids out. There's no intention behind it, right? There's no intention. So when you come into the world, even the kids coming to the world have no purpose in a sense. See, this thing about creation and life and individuality, and it gets deep. And I don't think people are in tune with what they're doing. Anything. So once we start being in tune with it, that's when things can get better. That's when we can really like start having some conversations about shit. Because it's nice we're having this conversation, but is it going to be a breakthrough? Or are we going to have a breakthrough with how we identify a relationship and how we identify ourselves in the behaviors that we have, and merging those two together? Is this conversation really going to do any good? Because I'm telling you, when Davion and I had that conversation, I sat there and thought about that shit. And he was like, you want some egotistical shit? And I was like, fuck you. But I had to really sit and think of that shit and was like, yo, he's kind of right though. Like really. And just knowing that the shit exists and people like that exist. We're not saying that anybody has to change and over and say, well, let's all become polyamorous. No, we're not saying that. It's just being cognizant of it. So when you get in your next relationship and you sitting over here letting this nigga fuck on you or fucking on the dudes or however you fuck, if you sitting up here thinking that, you need to be cognizant of what's happening and what they're thinking about and what you're thinking about and what it looks like. Okay, that's all. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Still. Raw B Privilege said it perfectly. I think they are saying build multiple relationships with the monogamy archetype as the basis. Still build meaningful relationships with people that feed different parts of you. Just Be Real just said, yes, it makes sense. No one person can be all in a relationship. And I think this is the crux of most divorce in this country is I think that tension and that pressure is what eventually can lead to sabotaging a relationship. Because how long can someone sustain? But once again, see, it's the fucking approach of the ego. If you're approaching relationships, even monogamous ones, with your ego, you are expecting your partner to be your end all, your answer, your everything, my cure, my happiness, my being, my wellness. Of course, somebody who's not as egoic isn't going to play your game. That means that they're going to take their rightful space away from you at times. They're going to cultivate a life outside of you at times. They're going to go be with their friends. They're going to go do the things. And it's not, and they're not wrong. You're the one in error. You're the one out of fucking touch. And because we're not growing up and then entering into relationships, we're entering into relationships childish as fuck, weird as fuck, insecure as fuck, disconnected as fuck, all out of whack as fuck. And then we wonder why it's all falling apart and nothing is fucking working out. So, bringing it back to children, look, when my mom and my dad had intercourse and I came about, I don't know if I was the vision, but I know who the fuck I've made proud since I've been in this motherfucker is me. I can't speak for nobody else. I can't speak for if I done made the family proud, mama proud, but who the fuck I have made proud in this motherfucker is me. And when you go to have a child, you should consider the fact that any type of child may come through your womb, and are you prepared to deal with the actual identity of the soul that's coming through? Or are you wanting to treat a child like a Build-A-Bear project? Because if that's your approach, that's going to be destructive in your parenting and in the cultivating of that adult, which leads me to why I'm so compassionate now toward people who are full of shit, toward people who are liars and cheaters and insecure and just out of whack, because they were given parents who literally they were Build-A-Bear projects to. And then they got involved in churches that looked at them as a Build-A-Bear project too. And everything around you is about who other motherfuckers and what other systems and other ideas want you to be, and who the fuck you actually are has been lost in translation of all of that, therefore leaving you but no choice but to be some defaulted, self-mutated hybrid version of your fucking self. And so is it no wonder you a fucking mess? And is there somebody to blame? Absolutely. And are you accountable for unmessing the mess that everybody did to you? Fucking yes. But do all those variables play into that? Absolutely. And so the way we engaging in life, the way we're creating societies, the way that we're cultivating human beings, the way that we're growing human beings, influencing each other, we got to revisit, indict, and convict the way we've produced the humanity that we have, because shit, we've done criminal shit to people emotionally through religion, through our egos. We've brutalized people's fucking minds and consciousness. And so all of humanity needs to come to fucking repentance and right to say clean, bitch. We need to scrap the whole fucking thing and literally get back to a simplicity.
And the thing is, like, most of us are following a doctrine that's like 2,000 years old and has never been, revised.
Well, let's talk about even that, and then we talk about the whole thing about how it's. I can't have this conversation about religion realistically, because it's like, I don't know. I believe, but I don't believe. So, and that anytime, like that whole book of Revelations, once I found out that shit was added in like the 1800s or whenever it was added, you could research it and see that the shit was added in there. That like really like blew my mind, because we grew up in the church. And so, but see, my dad, it was like a very conflicting type of thing, because my dad always taught us to research. I don't care who somebody tell you, go back and research it. And when I would go back and research, I would find things, and then I would go, and then you go down this rabbit hole and you're left thinking about whatever. So I mean, regardless of what religion is, we have to look at the archetype in which it was constructed, at the least, not to take away anything from Jesus and what he did and him dying on the cross and any of that, but we definitely need to look at all the sexist, heteronormative, everything that's in it that's like added in, because through proper research, you'll know that in any book, if it has any descriptions of like fanfare, and that's not real document. I mean, that's just scientifically how you're trained to research through things. But anyway, I don't want to get on that, because
no, we can get on that a little bit.
No, because I'm not prepared for that.
Now you done got me started, so we're gonna get on
prepared for that today.
We're gonna get on it a little bit. I
gotta fry my bread. I'm over here trying to cook and stuff. I'm over here trying to fry my hot water cornbread and stuff.
You believe all to that cornbread, to that pot. Be all that you can be, young man. Be in your monogamous relationships to that kitchen, okay?
Right.
As it relates to that Bible, though, I agree that it's contaminated, because obviously anything coming through human beings mostly is coming through the ego. So you have things that are insightful, you have wisdom, you have divine knowledge flowing through a broken vessel. And so the full expression of that wisdom is going to be contaminated with the ego. It's going to be contaminated with the pain body. which is why you can have God saying, I made both male and female in my image, and then also have those same men saying sexist things like women are property, or women have no say-so in marriage, or
And
women
then say, well, God made us in his image.
or have no right, because you're going to have the both of that anytime you have God and man. You're going to have God and man. And so the Bible is both God and man, all intertwined. And that's why it's important to understand the difference between the ego and then what's left when the ego, what's left is the truth when there's no ego. What's left is absoluteness. And when you break down your own ego and you come into contact with what's left when there's no ego, nice cultivating dinner, Henry. I'm so proud of you. Oh my God.
Mexican pizza.
Huh?
It's Mexican pizza.
I saw you sprinkling the cheese in there. I mean, you got, hold on, it's 3 plates. Who up in there?
Nobody. This is all me, bro.
Yo, fat, cisgender, heterosexual sloppy ass. And you ain't even invite me over for a Corona Ponderosa meal. Like,
next time I got you, bro.
Okay, y'all heard it first. Next time, he baking for 2, and we both gonna have 3 plates separately. We both gonna have 3 plates of food.
Yep.
Okay, right. So cultivating that discernment, knowing the goddamn difference between spirit and man will allow you to have discernment through spiritual literature, through religious literature. But see, we so out of touch, we don't know. So we call it all God's word. We call it all the infallible, whatever. But I find it fascinating that we say the Bible is the infallible word of God. And then we also say how the world is full of sinners and religious people and lovers of themselves and narcissists and demon and devil worshipers and doers of evil. And yet, except that the Bible is the infallible word, even though it came through the same humanity that you are attributing all those negative attributes to. How, like, it would be, we could argue the Bible being infallible if the shit fell directly out of the sky as is. Because I also find it fascinating that God can make the moon without our help, the sun without our help, your body without your help, the earth without your help, but needed your help with a book. If God were a fucking book, he could have given himself like he did everything else. So that Bible is going to come under critique. It's going to come under constructive critique. Okay? It's going to come through evaluation and analyzation. Okay? Now, I'm not going to play no games with the shit. Y'all can play pity pat with the shit if you want to. That's your business. Okay? Now, like Pot said, bitch, that is a rabbit hole of a conversation to go down, and I don't know if I'm ready to lead us down there, because we already done been here for 3 hours. And 2 minutes and 51 seconds, but anybody have anything to chime in with?
I guess I'll just say this real quick. First of all, I'm really appreciative of the conversation. I felt like we did get some things done. And once again, being honest, look at how much honesty has gotten us. It has opened the door. Of course, there's some people like me who still gonna stand their ground 10 toes down on what they believe, but at the same goddamn time, it still was nice to be able to hear the other person's perspective and to internalize it. Because I have a friend of mine who's like a bro to me. I just found out that he recently is into polygamy. Like, wow, that was kind of like something new to learn from that. It kind of feels
What did you find out?
Knowing that's what he wants to do, or that's what he's gravitating towards. But once again, that's being honest and, of course, looking for that. At the end of the day, let's just do this. Let's just be honest. Just be honest. It'll save everybody the heartache. It'll save everybody the mental gymnastics. It'll save everybody all the ego deaths, really. You know what I mean? I understand relationships, whether it be monogamous or it be poly or polygamy, whatever the case may be. I lost my thought. Fuck it, never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You had it. It was good. I know that Henry has to go or whatever. He texted me like almost an hour ago saying he had to go in a little bit. So I think it's a little bit later.
No, I'm fine. I just had to cook is all. Since I was able to cook.
That's the same thing.
That's not about religion. Okay. So
yeah, I'm good. We can stay on. So some people were complaining I was doing some stuff on the side. I had to cook.
So Stephanie said, I feel like the first problem with religion is that nobody wants to question whether God is a man or a woman. Why is our creator a man or a woman in the first place? But see, this is how you know the scriptures are contaminated with the ego. Because we assign a fucking sex and assign a gender to something that says it made both male and female, and it's also neither male nor damn female. And yet here it is, we've assigned God female or male when God is spirit, and both masculine and feminine are aspects of our creator, but they're not our creator in and of themselves. They're products of our creator. They're aspects and functions of our creator, but they're not the fucking creator. Why the fuck what does it mean for a spirit to be a man? What does that even mean that God is male? And then
because it's to push the narrative that the men are the high in the hierarchy. But to me, even as a kid, I'm not even saying this because it was because of the era that we're living in, of the era of the woman, and you know, I'm not even saying that. Just as a kid, growing up and looking at what my dad taught me, and this is no shade, this is just the truth. Looking at what my dad taught me and actually looking at what my mom actually did, and like looking at their roles. My mom was running that shit. She paid the bills. My dad worked. He just give her the money. But she did everything. Fixing the food, putting the food down, giving him, you know, this, and then paying the bills, and then managing everything. So it's like, I grew up like, you ain't really doing shit. Like, you ain't running shit, mama. And I even, like, once I got old enough, I said, Daddy, you don't run shit. You know mama run this shit. And we would laugh. Like, he'd be like, yeah, like, you already know, you know? So we would laugh.
Daddy just a damn sidekick. Daddy just a damn sidekick.
I mean, we knew what was up. It just what it is. He always say happy wife, happy life. So ultimate in a heterosexual relationship, or if we break it down to the heteronormative type of ideas, top and bottom, you know, the top is going to be more of the masculine energy, the bottom is going to be more of the effeminate energy. And so we just say it like that, then it's happy wife, happy life. You know, it just is what it is.
I just can't help but recognize how much of a nigga spirit is over here being with this fool, honey. I mean, beard eating, the mouth eating, the throat eat. I mean, everything having an experience on his face. The whole face having a damn experience, girl.
It's so good. I can't even tell you. I'm listening. I'm here with you guys. Let me tell you.
Shadow ban your ass from this motherfucking live because you ain't even invite a bitch to the festivity, but you over here gobbling damn down like fucking.
You know, I be eating. I'm skinny, but I like to chew. Shit.
Oh, you have been sipping and lunching and
cake, sandwiches. I had a roast beef, some bread and butter, some cake, some all kinds of stuff. Just snacking.
Y'all don't hold me because a bitch do gotta eat, and I am a fat bitch at heart. I know that my physical don't reflect the big that dwells within.
Yes, Norman made a good point. Norman says the book is by man. I don't do church or religion. If you ask me, God is not a man or a woman.
So let's talk about it.
Hold on. We're going to talk about it.
Okay. The same way that I believe monogamy, elementary, polygamy middle school and polyamory high school. First comes what you believe individually, elementary. Then you introduce to a religion that tries to set the tone and be a catalyst. Nope, it tries. So then religion represents the middle school. And then you got spirituality, which is the actual fucking truth. So I appreciate religion for being a stepping stone to God. But my issue with religion is that it wants to be the truth and not the stepping stone. Bitch, you're not the truth, religion. Let me have whoever can email religion and tell her that I said, bitch, you have an identity crisis. You are not the fucking truth, girl. You might be a GPS. You might be a road sign to the truth. You might be a post-it. You might be the arrow pointing in the direction, girl, but you are not the goddamn truth. Stop your shit, religion. Fucking stop it. You're not the fucking truth, girl. You're never going to be. That's also why, along with 70% of people ending in divorce, 70% of y'all churches are also ending up fucking empty, girl, because you're not the goddamn truth. Now it's time to actually transcend, okay? Now it's time to actually spiritually stand all the fuck the way up. And most of us have been using religion as a fucking crutch. It's been our safety net. And once again, because the universe conspires to bust your balls and to bust your ego, your religions are now coming under different observations and being reanalyzed because the world is changing. And guess what? It don't fit the way your fucking religion told you that it all should fit together.
But it never did, though. That's the T. It never did. It never did. Because although we had people, I'm just telling you, like my grandma, my great grandma, she was born in 1909, right?
Wow.
Yeah, she's not. I mean, she passed away, but I'm just saying, like we talking about how far back I'm talking. Like the world of what it is today has kind of similarly has always kind of been the same, at least for the last few hundred, like last 100 years or so. Even though we have all this race stuff and all this shit, you know, that's been going on, you know, through the centuries, you know, regardless to if it's black people or whoever. Not to say that it's right, but I'm saying this is a reoccurring thing that happens in history with the slavery and all this. And with man, human beings, somebody wants to be better than the next person, and we want to show that off in whatever capacity. But I
can tell that y'all newbies because y'all be I done got good at this shit now, so now I'm able to hold my thought to completion.
Yeah, because now I'm like, damn, why do I lose my thoughts like this? Like I gotta be quick. But this is the first time I done sat on like one of these little panel things like this, so whatever.
I'll tell you what to do. Like, treat it like a visual phone conversation. Don't even think of yourself as live. Don't think of yourself as having a live audience. Just be free and just think of it as just a conversation, and it'll start flowing. I used to let all the other tricklets like distract me in my mind.
Right.
Looking, oh, I gotta make sense.
Because I want to read and I'm being nosy and I'm looking here and there and I'm looking and this and that and stuff. But just give me what was we talking about like right before that I started talking?
It was a comment up there about the book is by me. I think we're talking about a religion, right? We're talking about.
Well, yeah, it's just like it is, and it's not to say that I'm just gonna elaborate. Whether I go back to that topic or not, it'll come back. But whether or not we believe or not, there is a force. There is something, right? And I think at the end of the day, whatever that force is, it's not what we think it is, or not what we've been told. Just as a connected individual, I like to think of myself as that I know that voice, whatever that voice was that told me everything we know is a lie in regard to religion and how it's set up, it truly is. As a person that has worked on the back end of the church and the back end of how we get the the services prepped and unction in the spirit. Okay, all this holy prayer that we're doing, we unctioning in the spirit. Okay, and all of this, you know, carrying on. If it sometimes people don't, we are tired. Okay, the thing about church, sometimes people expect you to, you know, they expect God to come through you, but you know, God can come through us and all of that, but we are still human beings. This force and this energy is not, or this energy that people feel that's coming down from the sky above and comes down within us. I think that kind of like all of these like thoughts go back to like kind of like Avatar things. You know how they had that, everybody was connected to that thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then once it was cut, you died. Hold on.
The umbilical? No, not the umbilical cord.
Huh?
I was gonna. It's not the umbilical cord, but I wonder where he's going with that.
Stephanie, the Black community loves to say.
I had to flip my bread over. My shit was about to burn. But anyway, I just think we just need to really, like, at the end of the day, we can take, if you take religion off of the table and just look at it as you or whoever you are, male or female, and anything that lies in between. If you look at yourself and say, hey, this is me, what type of decisions am I gonna make? That's when you're gonna have change. That's when the change happens. It doesn't happen by, you know, like, you know, any law is not going to change. What changes is the minds and the hearts of individuals. So that's what we need to start thinking about when we go into these, you know, everybody's like, oh, you know, what I'm going to say, this can change if we do this. No. Oh, polygamists, okay, people that don't believe in polygamy, polyamory relationships, and people that do. Okay, that's cool. You both can have disagreeing opinions, but you know, you can at least open your mind to it. And that's what I mean by changing your heart or your mind, opening your mind and looking at it. Because I ain't gotta lay in their bed, they ain't gotta lay in mine, but I can respect it. And if I so choose to do that, then that's what it is. So that's what it boils down to. This whole thing of religion is just really. Just if we look at ourselves as individuals and we're going to make that decision, make the best decision each day, each moment. You have a choice. Every day we get up, right? You get up in the morning, oh, I don't feel like doing anything. And I'm preaching to myself. But I get up and I say, oh, do I feel like jumping down and doing 50 push-ups right quick? Hell no, I'm not doing that shit. So I don't do the push-ups. But if I did 50 push-ups every day, I bet you I'd be sitting up here on this live with my shirt off and a chain on, like, hey, what's up?
And even though you still have a bird chest, you still sit up on.
All right, I have a little more, be a little extra birdiness going on. I'll be a hawk chest. Ostrich. Peacock.
Henry.
Okay, I'm done showing my feathers. Those are my feathers I was shaking.
You and religion, like, do you have a religious affiliation of any kind?
I would have to say I'm a Christian, because that's what I was raised as. Hold on, let me.
So you identify as Christian. You identify as what?
I guess mystic. I am mystic.
Okay, mystic. Henry.
I'm more of a.
Okay, first of all, I can't fucking hear you.
Can you hear me?
Okay, maybe now, like, what you said?
Okay. I'm more of a pantheist. I just believe that. Yeah. It's basically just the belief that God is evident within the harmony of the universe.
Okay. So what does that mean to you in terms of the way you live your life? Like how do you make pantheism, like how does it
manifest in my life? Yeah, well, you know, I believe in that, but I also believe in a personal God. I also believe that there is this being that I can talk to and that listens to me, and that, you know, when I really want to, I get down on my knees and I pray and I thank him, her, whatever. And there's, I mean, that any truth that kind of rings through to my soul is something that is evident and it's something that rings true to me. So therefore I can get truth from all different religions. I can appreciate a person who's Christian because I can get truth from them. I can appreciate somebody who's a Buddhist because I can get, truth from all of that. So it's more of one religion falls short, another is available to fill the gaps and things of that nature. So
Stephanie got me hollering right now.
I like that.
I'm a heathen, Christian.
I like that.
Screaming. I think that describes my spirituality fucking perfectly. A Heathen, yes, God.
I love it.
Okay, so that's beautiful because like what you just described is a mystic. Like mystics, they see the rock, but they don't identify the truth as it. Like they look under it, like where the truth will be. Like I feel like in the mystical community, like we have a saying that mystics build tents and religious people build temples, because mystics approach God from the perspective of God is in motion. It's in motion. And religion has like this absolute ideal about God, which makes God still. So they form rocks and temples in its place. But I feel like one of the reasons why religion keeps going out of style is because it doesn't move with God as people move, as consciousness moves from era to era, trend to trend, cycle to cycle. Religion isn't moving with that. So oftentimes its ideas become completely irrelevant. They're not useful to the people of the times. Just like, for instance, now we have a rise of the LGBT community, and religion still holds to a 2,000-year-old idea, and that's of no usage to people who are be given rights to. That's of usage to people who now you have to see in the streets and have to be next to you in stores and have to be on your television screen.
And with a person like me, you're going to be by me, or bitch, I'm hitting you in your mouth. Like it ain't no gay bashing over here. That's how I'm cut. Like it ain't gonna be none of that. So you're gonna have to deal. And see, that's how I, period.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how my dad raised me.
Down.
Wait. Let me explain something to people, because this punk pussy shit that I see on television and these motherfuckers getting gay bashed and shit, I understand that if you getting jumped, anybody getting jumped, that's an issue. But to let another nigga walk up in your face and try and punk you and you not do nothing, that's crazy. Like my dad, right? Please. I can't understand that. So my thing is, people just need to leave fucking people alone. Because you come across me, bitch, it might be your last motherfucking day standing. Because my daddy didn't raise me like, no, he didn't raise us soft. He raised me just like he would raise anybody. So, I mean, I don't think there's any, if you're a male child, there's no other way to raise you but to be a male. I get it. There are some people that are within the spectrum, but I'm only speaking about young people or men that identify as cisgender males. I cannot account for anybody that doesn't fall under that spectrum because I am not that. I'm only speaking to myself and people that are like me. But yeah, it was not like that. We were, I did everything. I can build some shit. I can change some tires. I can do all that stuff. So I just feel like, your people need to, and religion at the end of the day should not cause another person to hate somebody else, because at the end of the day, it's about love. It's about, treating your brother as you are. So how the hell y'all keep merging in hate with love? And that's the inconsistency with religion you have there, because there is a time for war and peace. I get that, but you can't sit up here and tell me that what I do is wrong, because how I live, I'm very blessed. I live a blessed life, okay? And that's from somebody that does not have a college education. that has gone through a tremendous amount of life experiences that would make the next person crazy. But yet I still stand here looking like I look and speaking the way that I speak. It has nothing to do with you being gay. I think if anything, God blesses me. He blesses me more than a lot of people that I look than my counterparts, my straight counterparts. So I don't know, but it's not definitely. I don't think being gay is wrong. I don't think it's a sin coming from a person that actually started to understand that they were different at the age of 4 or 5. So you can't sit up here and say that, oh, religion, this, that, and that. No, that's what we have to separate the two. Okay, because even in religion, that some of that stuff got some fairy tale basis to it, you know, and I can't foresee anything that tells me that somebody jumped in a person jumped in a whale's mouth and sat there for a few days and all that. It doesn't make sense. It's just not, and nobody's gonna sit up here. We need to start saying that shit. That shit don't make sense. And they say, oh, it's a miracle. We have to focus on the miracles. But you know what? We can focus on some miracles, but they need to be more realistic, realistic miracles, because no person can sit inside the animal without the acid eating their asses up. Like, and just imagine going through how we swallow food. Like, come on, like, oh, anyway, this religious stuff, we got
Henry, man, you want to say some shit? What?
But shit, it baffles me.
What you saying, Spirit?
I was just saying that, like, there's nowhere in the Bible that says being gay is a sin. It just says it's an abomination for a man to lay in bed with another man. So that also, it's like saying
the abomination is a sin, though. Anything abominable is considered a sin.
Okay, but that just says, but it doesn't say, it does not say it's an abomination for a man to love another man. It just says for a man to lay in bed with another man. It doesn't say, I mean, what if you're celibate? You're still gay. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not having sex with a man, what then? We always supposed to take the Bible literally. I mean,
and that's what I did. That's how I came to the conclusion that it was a lot of bullshit there, because I said, you know what? I'm going to do this literally, because I knew
what people would say to that. People would say that people are changing the Bible to fit their.
I don't change anything. I let it be what it is.
Yeah, I'm literally going on the Bible word for word. Like, if you take it for the word of what it says it is an abomination for a man to lay in the bed like a woman would, or something like that, right?
I always say mankind should not lie like with mankind, like whatever. Yeah, something paraphrasing.
Man shall not lie with mankind like man lies with woman. Now,
right.
Again, like, fine.
But that scripture changed, because my grandmother that was born in 1909, that same scripture, I read it because I knew I was a young gay person. And I said, well, let me see what it said in her Bible. I don't know. I was just inquisitive.
But why is it that we take just that out of the Bible? Like, don't have selective condemnation, because it also
we do.
No, but I'm going to say
good. Yeah, that's how they're able to sit in church every Sunday.
I'm going to tell them exactly what.
And get fucked like a rag doll, and then come to church on Sunday with their pussy about to fall out right there in the motherfucking congregation, right there in the.
And not just that though. I mean, but not even just bringing it into modern times, like just taking it. You can have the 4 next buffs to God, like just taking it back to the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. Homosexuality is wrong and it's punishable by death. That's what the Bible says. But so are women who are not virgins upon their wedding night are to be murdered as well. So is your rebellious child to be taken to the inner square of the city and killed by religious officials. Also, to be killed and murdered are thieves, and the Bible doesn't create a nuance around thievery. There is no first, second degree. So petty theft from grand theft is punishable by death. So are prostituting, so are promiscuity. So is
a lot of people.
Hold on, but this is my point. I'm fine with homosexuality being wrong. What I'm not fine is everything else in that motherfucker not being treated with the same disdain and prejudice as homosexuality is. I'm also very confused by people who weaponize scripture to condemn homosexuals, because if you really are subscribing to Old Testament verses about homosexuality, then also subscribe to the Courage to Kill my ass and take your ass to prison for doing so. Don't cite to me some shit that's supposed to cite violence upon me, and you want to follow the scriptures up to preaching it to me, but you also don't have the fucking balls to commit that murder in cold blood and suffer on behalf of the religion that supports you, condemning me intellectually and emotionally for that shit. Follow through with the killings. How many of you motherfuckers are willing to go to jail on behalf of the Bible? Go ahead and kill these prostitutes. Go ahead and kill these homosexuals. If you don't cite to me no Old Testament shit, because Old Testament don't only say this to a motherfucker, it says to do this to a motherfucker too. And I don't see you motherfuckers coming full circle in y'all citing of scripture. So if you ain't gonna be about the murdering that's also subscribed to who's considered a goddamn sinner, then take your 21st century ass and maintain your scriptural integrity by remaining in the New Testament where your Lord and Savior is. And speaking of your damn Lord and Savior, I also find it very goddamn fascinating that your Lord and Savior had nothing to say about a community that got y'all wigs up in a goddamn knot. You would think that God being incarnated into a fucking man, then died on a sin, that he would have had a plethora of theological, doctrinal, intellectual, metaphysical things to say about this fucking community that these conservatives and fucking left wings and right wings in this goddamn country have so much to say about. Why is Jesus so fucking silent? Why would God himself be so silent about an issue that y'all have refused to lay to rest since the beginning of religion? I just find that absolutely.
What do you mean? I don't follow. I don't follow what you're saying.
Okay, simply put, Jesus had nothing to say about homosexuality. But yet religion has made homosexuality. They built a whole separate body.
As if that was his own, as if that was the only thing he ever had to say.
No, but he never even had anything to actually say about it, which is what's the craziest thing, because you have other authors in the Bible, like Paul, who have mentioned homosexuality, like the book of Leviticus that's mentioned homosexuality. But ironically, the head nigga in charge, Yeshua, the Christ, the anointed one, the lamb, the sacrifice, the word made flesh, the creator in a body, had absolutely nothing, not a single fucking word, not don't do it, not nothing, had nothing. The author of the word had nothing to say about homosexuality. So what the fuck is wrong with religion? Where did this emphasis on sexuality fucking come from? And if you find yourself being a Christian because some good faithful person, it just sounds like cash at me some goddamn money.
But we can't say anything when we don't know what the actual books of the Bible are, though. They've already talked about them.
What I'm saying is that, why did your Lord and Savior not finish the job Paul did in the scriptures? Why did he not finish the damn job that Leviticus started in the scriptures? Because Jesus spoke about a lot of shit and never spoke about homosexuality. Why is that? And why is that not a topic that the church is having? Why is the man in the glass stained windows, why is the cross not being confronted about why Jesus, the Christ, never condemned homosexuals? Why?
I'm going to say this. Let me say this real quick. which I don't really see these conversations. I know they happen, but I'm not in the forums. But for the people that have issues with gay people, you shouldn't be concerned about us. You should really be concerned about your offspring. You know why? Because in Deuteronomy 23rd chapter, 2nd verse, it says, no one born of a forbidden union may enter the assembly of the Lord, even to the 10th generation. None of his descendants may enter the assembly of the Lord. That should shut everybody up.
Oh wow!
Shut everybody's fucking mouth right there.
Hey, wait a minute, hold on. Can you read that again? I just missed it. I was
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'll read it again. In Deuteronomy, chapter 23rd chapter of Deuteronomy, 2nd verse, it says, no one born of a forbidden union may enter the assembly of the Lord, even to the 10th generation. None of his descendants may enter the assembly of the Lord.
Wow.
So we ain't going to heaven, and y'all motherfucking asses ain't going to heaven. Your children, I mean, this shit get deep. If we gonna go deep, let's go deep. Let's go deep.
Yeah.
If we gonna go deep,
we ain't gonna go deep though, because deep is a discovery and an encounter with the truth. Something that religion is disinterested in.
Now I know that gagged a lot of motherfucking people right then and there, because see, my thing is I'm not gonna talk about a motherfucking thing unless I got the receipt to back myself, what I'm saying. And this is where I come from, the knowledge of knowing that we've got to get past this religious shit and we got to get down to the human being shit. Because this right here, it's already false. A lot of people didn't even know that. I just busted, whoever watched this, I know they got their heads busted right now. Boom, oh, laid out already. And that's in their Bible that they read. I'm just saying, like, we got to get for real. Get past the religious shit and get to the human shit. You know what I'm saying? We are all interconnected at the end of the fucking day.
Bubs the guy wanting to say something.
I gotta go in a little bit. I really do have to go.
Okay. So this letter. So this
I just
want to
say
your
this
booty call coming through. Okay. Corona's ass. Mm-hmm.
But I feel personally two things. One, they're not going to accept that truth because it destroys this haven that they have created for their ego, because it creates superiority, it creates exclusivity,
power,
and it shows like I know God, and we create this whole thing of putting on our Sundays best. Show me.
Yeah, and you know God, but your ass still going to hell. How about it?
Exactly. Well, Madison said it best. The great T.S. Madison said it best. Bitch, we all going to the fish fry. Bring the check sodas, bring the goddamn mix and shit, bring the food, bring the tilapias, bring all the shit that we need for the fish fry. But here's the thing about it though. In this book that Davia and I read, and I mentioned it before, called Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth, these monoliths that are created, who think that they're impenetrable, who think that they can't be touched, are going to be the ones that are going to fall first. And that's what's happening right now. And what's baffling their minds in reference to the LGBT situation is the fact that, wait a minute, we're doing what we think is right in the Bible, but meanwhile, these people are not doing anything that we think is right in the Bible. But meanwhile, they're still being blessed. Like you said earlier, Pops, you still blessed. You still got things happening in your life. And that to them, it short circuits their mind because they can't think of that. They can't accept that. But I mean, just like death is going to happen whether you want to or not. And second of all, we can simplify this shit all right now. What did Jesus say? Turn the Bible into a pamphlet with all the red words, because it said that can't nobody enter to the kingdom of heaven but by through Christ, right? So my thing is, if that's the case, then let's focus on what Jesus majored in. You know what I mean? And he majored in love. That's what he did. But love is hard to exemplify because, I mean, hell, even Jesus loved his executioners as they was placing his ass on the cross. That's something that we
already up there. Shit, he was already up there,
and still loved them. And that's the thing. We're calling. It's like this, bro. the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is calling for you to walk in your shit. If you can't heal, it's going to be exposed. If you talking shit, it's going to be exposed. If you scamming, it's going to be exposed. If you fucking your people in your congregation, bitch, it's going to be exposed. If you got 14 kids that we don't know about, bitch, we're going to know about them. Because why? They're going to be exposed. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Truth is prevailing. Truth is prevailing. And people just need to learn to accept certain things and deal with certain things, because it's gonna happen whether you want it to happen, whether you want it to or not. Point blank. So
That's real. And on that note, gentlemen, I've had a really, really wonderful time with you guys.
I thank you so much for your time, Spirit. You gave us a good, almost 4 hours of your time. I'm proud of you. Thank you so much.
Anytime, man.
Look, once again, like, you're going to be doing this more times than what you prefer to. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, man. Just whenever, let me know whenever you need me, bro. I'll be here.
All right. Well, I'll text you later. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye.
All right. See you.
All right, guys. It was great talking to you guys. Y'all be cool. Bubs and Pots.
Pots. Wear a condom. Bye.
You do it all the time.
Oh my God.
And then there was 3.
And then there was Maul, and then there was Maul.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very, as Bubs to God to say, man, as Bubs to God said, I mean, Jesus majored in love. That's what ultimately it all comes down to. Every religion universally boils down to motherfucking love. That's the root of it all. And the hardest thing about love is us getting past the ego self.
Absolutely.
As Bubs to God said, Jesus said. I mean, as he did, he was forgiving his enemies as they already had beat the hell out of them. They already done had them, roped them in, nailed them into the cross, and here it is. Forgive them, for they know not what they do. What Jesus was uttering was, these people, Father, are deeply unconscious. If they knew who they truly were, if they knew what the truth was, I would not be here and they would not be doing this. This is the product of
tambourine.
Huh?
Where my tambourine at?
Is the product and Jesus understood this, but that's why he was an anomaly, because he was asking people to do what people felt was impossible. To love your enemy, to do good to those who use you.
See, if it's up to like that, I know I'm going to hell because I'm not that evolved yet, and I know I'm not.
But that's good, because evolution is a journey. You don't have to be there yet. You don't have to be there yet. But the fact that you on the path and it's your goal ahead, you will be honored forever and ever as a result of being on that path and walking that out. Because as the word says, every man and woman is to work out his or her own soul salvation, and that shit is going to be done in fear and trembling. This is not easy work. And that goes back to the starting point of my conversation. We have to relook at ourselves and each other. We got to come out of this judgmental shit. We've got to be more compassionate and realize we all were born in sin. We all were born unconscious as fuck. Okay? And what we should be focused upon is our perspective and getting back to the truth and then living from that truth rather than subscribing to the material world and the illusions that have been generated and have been used to form our perspective of fucking life. This is not about holding on. This is about letting go. Letting go. Because what type of person can forgive those who have already done them in? Only somebody without an ego. What type of person can do good to people who are full of shit? Only somebody without an ego. If you think about what type of person can do the things Jesus is asking us all to do and learn to do, motherfuckers without their ego, okay? And as long as you have one, bitch, you're more invested in being right than being whole. This is about transcending being right. This is about being whole. We're talking about some next level living here. We're talking about some next level fucking thinking here. Jesus asking us to surrender to some shit that is going to break some of us to surrender to, because my ego deaths have been brutal.
Yeah.
My ego deaths have been, yikes. My ego deaths have brought me to contemplation of suicide.
Yeah.
I did not know I was that deeply committed and invested and in tune with my ego self until I was being asked to give it up. And the fight to let loose that shit, to let loose this idea of a me, this idea of right and wrong, this idea of you did this, I do this idea of blame. It's not about none of that. Because guess what? If you were living in life from a place of what you could give rather than what you would receive, you would never even really experience loss to begin with.
Well,
see, this is all a science. Like, it all works when you're doing it. It all comes together for your healing, for your betterment, for your peace of mind. We don't have it because we got wrong shit in the formula.
this is true.
In the formula. So, love, yes. It ain't easy. And because most of us ain't been taught to really love, we have an egoic perception of what it means to love. It's going to take time to unlearn false love and to learn what true love actually is and looks like, as individually, as a community, and as a collective. Now, we have been here, motherfuckers, for almost 4 hours.
Ooh, Lord.
And a bitch has not satisfied the insatiable, fat, ferocious hole that lives within inside of my being. Because I don't watch pots.
Tear it down.
In calories.
Tear it down.
I don't watch Henry engage in calories. Me and Bubs got been fasting this whole damn 4 hours.
I said, y'all crazy as hell, bless y'all. I'd have offered y'all something to eat. I'd have been like, hey, you have some? Have some. You know, I got cake. I got all kinds of shit. What
well, guess what? Me and Bubs to God is what it looks like when you die unto self. You're dying unto self right now. So, are there any partying words? Because we traveled all the fucking way through. Now, I almost feel it kind of sucks because these should have been individual topics, and I hate that it's all in one setting because I don't think a lot of people gonna sit through 4 fucking hours of conversation.
Just cut it up into things and just reshare it. And it ain't gotta be perfect. You ain't gotta do nothing perfect. Just
do that.
Yeah, just break that shit down. You already know how I felt about, you know, you doing the interview and how you that long interview. That shit should have been broken down into segments.
That shit is in 30 motherfucking thousand views and counting, and bitches sat their ass right there and indulging in.
I know I did. Look, let me tell you what I did.
Talking shit and sat your ass right there through the whole 4 hours.
I feel like it could have gotten more because there was a few people that I shared it with that was like, it's too long. So they wanted, I watched it and then I had to explain to them.
So I'm supposed to walk around motherfuckers' attention span. It ain't my fault that you don't.
You're just accommodating the people. See, he's talking and his ego is speaking at this point.
I'm just saying.
Speaking at this point.
I don't think other motherfuckers PhD is my my shit, bitch. You can't look. I bet your ass sat through the goddamn EBT line and got your stamps. I bet you sat your ass in that welfare line and got them.
Oh, I don't do that.
I bet you sat on the Black Friday line to get that motherfucking $89 discounted ass smart TV, bitch, that Best Buy was selling, girl. So don't be coming over here with your motherfucking selective ass attention span, girl. Sit down and enjoy the show. I did all the work to begin with. The least
why you gotta
sit the fuck down and enjoy the video.
Why you gotta do all of that?
Oh, what?
Finish them. Well, y'all, I tried to help, so there we go.
There it is, bitch. Parting words, anyone? Pots? Anything you
love
want
me because I love you. Call me Potts Turlington. All my friends do.
Can you tell people where to find you? Like YouTube, you got Instagram, any?
Yes, yes. Okay, I'm done. I'm done being silly. Okay. All right, guys. I can be followed if you were interested. Listen. I ain't gonna lie, I got a lot of shit going on. So if you go on my Instagram or Facebook, which is Potts Turlington TV is the Instagram, one word, Potts Turlington, POTTZTURLINGTON TV. Okay. And then Facebook is just Potts Turlington. And I have my TikTok, Potts Turlington, Telenova, Twitter, Potts Turlington, whatever. Y'all will be able to find. Just type it in. I'm like the only one. But anyway, I also do music. We're talking about the life coach and everything. But to piggyback onto that, I had talked to a group of people that followed me on Facebook, and I told them I would coach myself into doing music. And something that I had no real way of how to do it. And I literally coached myself. And now I have 7 songs written. I got one song out called Cash Stacks and Racks. You can find it right now on YouTube, Potts Turlington. So that's mainly what I wanted to push. Davion, my good friend, he's talking about the life coaching and all, and the date whisperer. And that's cool. But the era that we're in now is all about my music. We'll be more than happy to share any of the knowledge that I have regarding coaching and just coping and dealing with life. But I really want to focus on my music. So I can be just type in your search bar, Potts Turlington. The name of the song is Cash Stacks and Racks, and that's the first song that I've dropped. Got 7 more.
Racks. All right. Push the fuck through. Entrepreneur and mogul. Love the God.
Y'all already know social medias. Bubs the God, all one word. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, OnlyFans. I'm just playing. All that shit. And yeah, thank y'all. I really appreciate it again, Davion, for allowing me on your platform. I love you guys, Conscious Crew, and I look forward to seeing you guys again in the next video. So
absolutely. Well, you guys already know where to find me. You're already home. But definitely subscribe to the Patreon, you guys, because I'm about to go over there too and talk some shit about my relationship. I'm about to drop some tea and some shit. So, we don't give hoes, clout on the main channel,
Come on now.
Drag their ass where they gotta pay to see the drag. Drag their ass in a place that they won't benefit from the dragging, but nonetheless be equally damaged. So going on, head over there to the Patreon and subscribe. Make sure you guys share and subscribe. All the email and donation options will be in the description bar. I'll have Potts contact information, spirits, and Bubs to God in that description bar. I hope you guys enjoyed this riveting Sunday. This was almost this is almost the time that church lets out. Like church be about what? How long is church? About 2 hours? Hour and a half? Like
I ain't never went at night, so I can't say.
No, okay. I ain't been since I was 18, so that says a lot.
Not a regular church. You may have like some kind of pastor appreciation joint or something, but just like a church service at night, no, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, good. We gave y'all more than a pastor ever could here today, so that's the good news. I love you guys, and we will see you all later. Bye-bye. You guys can stay in. Just stay in.